So low. United Front. So low. Right, Sky, Vice, Most. Pop Snoopy had a one, young Padawan. I was Obi with the wand, I was Bishop Don. I was prepped at every step to press the lexicon beyond whatever's necessary. Effortless, every bar, never there. Where's y'all? I don't care. I'm about a bad like a billboard. Illness still on well off. Therefore a rare breed. Carrying a flare and a Marys. Air in your ass if you dare me. Slicker than gator scales. Square hell should you go where the Ohio clickers dwell. So I can't translate or feel what y'all saying. Spread in my hands whenever y'all lag and you're talking awkward. It's obvious I'm unlike all you. And transcending man no mortal. The problem is yours. Give it over to God. And you can for him for all this sorrow.
Well. Salutations, everyone. I didn't want to give you too much. Because I wanted you to make sure that you cop, my next guest music, so that's why I wanted to make sure I just give you just a little bit of aura all over by our next guest. I don't know whether or not you was aware that he was also a recording artist, because I think most of you know him as mos.reacts on YouTube, and he's most known for his Kountry Wayne skit reviews. So and shout out to all the other Kountry Wayne content creators as well. I've been enjoying a few of the content creators that came on. Shout out to O'Neill TV. Shout out to Deontay's Reviews, who's came on my platform and bless my platform. And so I have another one that's blessing my platform as well. It's been a long time coming because we've been missing each other. We've been missing each other. So we finally are here. He was, I was in his chat one time. He's like, look, let's just get this schedule right now, here and now. And so here we are tonight. And I thank you so much for those who are coming into the building, whether you're here live in real time with us, or you're going to catch the replay later on. You might lurk around in the bushes. That's fine too. Or you might just stop by. You can do a little channel hopping and stop by. But no matter how you get here, just get here if you can. All right. So I'm so privileged to have this next guest. As you can see, he's a recording artist as well as a content creator. So my next guest that I'm going to bring up is mos.reacts, also known as mos.reacts, also known as Hijinks. Here we go. And here he is in the building, mos.reacts, Hijinks, whatever you want to call him. He goes by both of them, So thank you so much for being here. How are you, Hijinks?
I'm doing grand.
Yes. I'm glad to have you in the building. I thank you so much for being here. It's I really appreciate that you taking the time to do this for me. I really, really appreciated it. It's not taken for granted at all. So I want to thank you.
I appreciate you reaching out and thinking that much to
absolutely
want to know more about me. I'm
with
it.
Yeah, I want to get to know you. Let's get to know each other better. Let's get to know each other better. And shout out to everybody in the room. Come into the room. Thank you so much for being here. My supporters, Hijinks supporters. Thank you so much. We all supporting each other.
Okay.
We are here for each other.
I can't see nobody. So
anyone? Okay, well, let me tell you who's here. Let me just tell you who's here. We got Mr. Daquan that's here. We got DeCarla. How you doing, DeCarla? How you? Thank you for being in the building. We have Jacqueline Alexander. Hello. Shout out to Kate. Yeah. Oh, mother of the mods in the building. And shout out to Kate Shooks. Please make sure you subscribe to him as well. Bubs to God. How are you? Thank you so much for coming in. You said I'm listening before I go live in a few minutes with another content creator. So proud of you and your hard work. Thank you so much, Bubs to God. Thank you so much. Shout out to you. I love me some Bubs. Yes. Check out his interview, by the way. Check out his channel as well. Subscribe, if you can. And we have Angela in the building. She's a supporter, of all of the Kountry Wayne content creators as well.
Where you been, Angie?
Yeah. she's been around. Yeah,
Oh,
she's been around.
she done abandoned us.
Yeah, no, no, no. She'll never do that. Yeah, Miss Stevie, Miss Stevie. Shout out to Miss Stevie. Thank you so much for your support. This is another content creator. She's one of my inspirations, Hijinks. Like when I first started this
Okay.
YouTube space, I'm still getting into the groove, as you know, but she's been one of my
Nice.
inspirations. So I've
Style
been
by
like, she's been the
Stevie.
blueprint.
Okay.
So Styles by Stevie, shout out to her. If you could
Sure.
collaborate with her, that'd be great because I mean she's awesome at what she does. So I mean,
Okay.
she's been in this for a long time, 20 years in. So shout out
Oh
to Miss
wow.
Stevie.
Okay.
Yes, yes. So she's true to
Wow.
this. Shout out to
Nice.
Stream Elements. Thank you so much for being here. T Dub. Welcome to the place.
I
Welcome
think
to
that's my bot. I think
oh really?
I think that bot is connected to my channel no matter what I do. I didn't expect to see it, but that's my shout out to my
Oh, they
bat.
following you. They following you.
Yeah,
Okay.
so, all right.
Yeah. Also, Bodine. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much. Bodine is in the
Player,
building.
player.
So I just thank you so much. I wanted to make sure I acknowledge the guests in the building. Wipe your feet off when you get in here. Wipe your feet off when you come into the building. Yeah, that threw you off guard, didn't
We
it?
all just a little bit. Just a little bit. I'm here with you now.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, so we got that all out the way. So hijinks, I like to always start in the beginning, because it's been a journey within a journey within a journey, and I've always enjoyed the humble beginnings. Okay.
Sure.
So
My beginnings are still
yeah,
humble, by the way,
yes,
but yes.
absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, oh, no, of course, but I'm talking about like when it all started, before you became hijinks. I don't know if you want to share your name that was on your birth
Okay.
certificate, but
Yeah.
yeah, so but can you tell me where did it all start for you? Born and raised where?
I'm actually born and raised out of Lorain, Ohio. Pretty much
Lorraine.
like
Where's
yeah,
Lorraine?
right outside of Cleveland. So
Right, okay.
yeah, right outside of Cleveland. So like probably about 20 minutes, if that, from Cleveland, Ohio. So between Lorain and Cleveland, Ohio, and Atlanta, Georgia, had been
Okay.
primarily my beginnings, and where I was raised and people I've been around that kind of made me and shaped me to be who I am. So
Yeah, a lot of people don't realize, Ohio is home of a lot of great artists, legendary artists,
oh,
Yeah,
for
like
sure.
Howard Hewitt, Shirley Murdoch, who else is from
Oh,
Ohio? I mean, help me out, hijinks. Is it
I'm
the Ice
surprised you. I'm
Yeah.
surprised you didn't say Bone. That's the first one. Like Bone. Like
Oh,
everybody,
yeah, Bone Thugs,
everybody
Bone
always
Thugs.
giving.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. So
now.
yeah, it's quite a few. Yeah.
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 Um,
So go
Bootsy
out.
Collins. I mean, if you want to take it back, you got
Yes, yeah, that's my
Bootsy.
boyfriend in my head, Boosie Collins. I love me some Boosie. Yeah, that's my boyfriend in my head.
Want to go to more recent, you got, Kid Cudi and yeah, so, various talents, all over the state. You
Yeah,
know what I'm saying? A
absolutely.
lot of my influences as well. So yeah.
And we'll get into that too. But I just want to just get, I want to try to build a timeline because I want to get more into your childhood. Did you grow
Okay.
up in a two-parent household, one single family, brothers, sisters, cousins? Did you have to ration out the food in the fridge? Bunk beds, pallets on the floor. Did you have, the sneakers on the wire in the yard? Like, can you give me give me
Word,
some
word.
yeah, give me some upbringing. I want to hear
Okay.
about your I want to hear about the boy in you. I want to hear about the boy in you.
Okay. Well, yeah. I mean, where do I start? I mean, as far as my family dynamic,
Yes.
my father, what I'm saying, who is no longer with us, he wasn't really a part of my childhood. So I'm more so the product of a single mother, and my mother, had kind of like a career going to where, she would, send me to my grandparents. So
Right.
a lot of my childhood was kind of like, bouncing me between, my grandparents' household and, like I said, I would go to Atlanta a lot, because I got a lot of family out there. So like my summers would be in Atlanta, so she can, kind of move around and do what she
Right.
needed to do to provide. And then, throughout the school year, I spent a lot of time with my grandparents, and they pick me up from school sometimes. So there was a lot of back and forth, within my childhood. But as far as Lorraine, Ohio. Lorraine is a very humble town
Okay.
within itself. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, everything is within like a very short distance to where you can find yourself in the hood, in the projects, or in the suburbs, so to speak, within probably like 5 to 8 minutes. Just depending on where you at.
Okay. Okay.
So with my beginnings being humble, but my mother still being able to provide you know a decent lifestyle to where I could have things, even if they was sometimes off brand things. You know what I'm saying? My
Yeah.
mother, she
Mhm.
still did the best that she could, and I had those experiences. And whereas where I would find myself in other households where things were maybe run a little bit different. My experiences extend to being on the east side of town with my grandparents, and other places where things might not necessarily have been so
Right.
pristine as far as how things were. So I definitely have a, I don't know, like a myriad of childhood experiences, and places that I've been in, that I consider where I was raised. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. And so,
Mhm.
and shout out to your mom. And, because,
For sure.
we have a lot of those, because, that's similar to my upbringing when my mom had to work and I spent most of my time with my grandmother. She took me to my doctor's appointments and she had to run all the errands, while my mom was at work. So I get it.
Mhm.
So can you tell me, you said that your father, wasn't present in your life. Can you tell me why that was?
Well, I mean, my pops, he had a lot of things that he was dealing with. You know what I'm saying? As far as what he kind of had going on, with kind of being a rolling stone, so
Mm,
to
got it.
speak.
Got it.
That was kind of just what he was on at the time, and then we kind of you know, where we kind of had our distance between us, right? And the reason I'm not too much like, I guess, apprehensive about discussing this stuff is because you know, I do discuss these things in my music, from time to time. So, it's not a secret necessarily, but this is definitely my first time like verbalizing these things, and
Right.
I didn't know how deep we was gonna get. So yeah, and like I said, you did ask me, if there was anything I was uncomfortable with speaking on, and I don't have anything, but I was
But
definitely
it's
like,
but it
oh, we
still
going
triggers
deep.
you. It still triggers you, I understand
No,
that.
no, no, no. I was just saying, like, I was like, oh,
Yeah.
we going deep with
You
this one.
going there,
Okay, so
yes, yes,
okay, but and that's cool. I'm with it. I'm
yes.
with it.
I'm
But
with it
no,
too.
yeah, my father, he battled, addiction and alcoholism and drug addiction, and so a lot of different, things that kind of like separated him and separated our relationship, for quite some time, man. We kind of had this back and forth thing,
Jinx.
for a while. What's that?
Keep going.
Oh, okay, no, I thought you were saying wrap it up.
Oh, no! Oh, no! Oh my
No,
god.
no, but no, we
Absolutely oh, no, absolutely not.
okay, no, but yeah, we definitely kind of had a back and forth thing as far as our relationship is concerned. Um, Pretty much up until he had passed.
And so, when you said that you don't have any apprehension, like, did you have any, anger or resentment towards him? Like,
Oh,
did you get any questions answered at all? Did you have any
oh,
questions for him? Any no
oh yeah,
conversation at all?
oh yeah. We had it out. Me and my dad, man, we hashed it out. So currently, right now, I live in the city of Columbus, Ohio. So I'm probably 2 hours from home, 2 hours from Cleveland and Lorraine, south of Cleveland and Lorraine. And so when I moved down here in 2006, my father was living here. And
Okay.
not my mother, my sister, she had been here since like the late 90s. So as far as my me and my father's relationship, it was kind of like a suggestion made from my aunt, my pops, his sister. She was like, you should go and move down to Columbus. You ain't doing nothing up there but getting in trouble, and try to like build your relationship, you know. And so at first I was like, nah, you know, get
Mhm.
that. But you know, I sat on that for a minute, and eventually I did. I came down here, and pretty much been here ever since. But you know, we kind of had a moment where we were living together. Like when I first cut my mic off. When I first moved down here, we, you know, I was living with him for a little bit. And so for a couple months, you know, it was kind of like this tension at the
Yes.
same time, you know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like,
Right.
you know, but I'm kind of like trying to be respectful about it a little bit. But at the same time, you know, like being in that space with him for as long as I was in the space with him, like just started to fester within me. And then me and him
Yes.
ended up we ended up having like a huge blowout
Yes.
during that
Mhm.
time period.
Mhm.
You know, just in where I basically just told him everything that I felt,
You
you
out
know.
of yeah, you was
Oh
angry
yeah,
and
yeah.
yeah.
It was a very it was high emotions, and it was, you know, very, and it was something that was needed too, you know,
Yes.
at the same
Yes.
time. But yeah, we had it out, um, and then eventually we would just learn to kind of, you know, exist together. I don't think we solved anything, but you know,
Mm.
we learned to exist
Right.
together for a while, and then eventually he ended up getting remarried, and then he moved out of the apartment that we were in. And so, you know, I that's when, you know, I pretty much started, you know, living my life here in the city of
Got it.
Columbus. Yeah.
Okay, but I thank you for sharing that because I think it's
Yeah.
very important that, people will understand because I always like to get because, we have, unfortunately, we have a lot of circumstances, a lot of us who did not grow up, with our dads, and
Mm.
they catch up with us later in life, and it's like they catch up with us, but then we tend to be so resentful. But I'm glad that you at least were able to put everything out there in the open, and I'm hoping that at least y'all were able to listen to each other. I don't know, like you said, it was no resolve, but you were still
At
able to air certain things out, or hash certain things out. Do you think he received anything? Did he, was there any accountability on either side, or
um
I mean, your own words and your own perspective.
I mean, it's a good question. You know, it's been so long, and
Right.
I
No.
remember very little of the conversation. I don't think he was necessarily accountable to the degree to my satisfaction, at least. I don't think like in that moment during that conversation, because what eventually will end up happening is, you know, like I said, he ended up remarrying. He, you know, stepped I mean, he moved out of the apartment that we were in, and then he kind of my pops was a trip, man. He was like, yeah, I'm gonna move in, you know, about to get remarried. I'm gonna move in with my woman, but I want you to keep this apartment just in case I want to leave her ass and come back.
Oh, wow. Really? Wow.
Yeah. So I was like, all right, you know, whatever. And eventually I left that damn apartment. It was like a 1 bedroom apartment. So I was like, man, I gotta get up out of here. So eventually I left that apartment, and he was pissed that I left the apartment
Right, because it
because
was
it was
right.
his, yeah, it was his, you
His
know,
escape his escape his
his
escape
plan
route.
B, right.
Yeah.
And me and him ended up getting in an argument about that. And that argument, it pissed me off probably more than any other argument that we ever had, because for multiple reasons, right? For
Yeah.
multiple
Because
reasons.
you feel
But
like, you're not obligated. You weren't obligated to stay.
exactly. It was
Yeah.
just the audacity, right?
Yeah.
So eventually we fall out again. And mind you, his apartment was probably 5 minutes from where I lived. And for, I want to say, upwards of 4 years, I didn't really talk to him. Like after that blowout, and after that, the only time I would see him is when I go over my sister's. And if he was over there, we would see each other. But we wasn't talking. We weren't on speaking terms for years, up until he passed.
Mm.
Like literally, we had just started communicating again months before he passed away.
Mm.
So that whole time, because like I said, I moved 2005, 2006. He ended up passing New Year's Eve, 2010.
Oh,
So yeah, so he passed New Year's Eve,
mm.
and so that whole time we was pretty much just
Strange.
estranged. Yeah, and so we didn't communicate much at all. And then, you know, I think it may even have been a health scare that he had prior to him passing, which kind of prompted me to, go check him out. And then we talked, and we ended up, hanging out a couple times. And I actually called him on the phone to see what he was doing New Year's Eve, the night that he had passed away. And I
Wow.
was, yeah. So like I was like, "What you got going on New Year's?" He said he's probably might just go to church, with his wife. And I was like, "Okay, well." I told him I was gonna hang out with my mom, because my mother eventually ended up moving here, to Columbus, like years after. But in between me moving and my father's passing, my mother actually ended up coming to the city as well. So
Right, right.
yeah, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so I think that this is so important to have these type of backstories, and I think that your story, of course, is going to resonate with others, just like any other of the
Mhm.
stories I've heard, that resonated with other people, and I just also want to kind of kind of insert this, and I know I don't want to offend anyone, but I think that it is very important to be mindful of how you position yourself when it comes to parenting or when it comes to wanting to have a family, because I know we have circumstances that happen, we have slip-ups that happen, and you don't
Mhm.
expect to become parents, or there's it's not planned. You're parenting someone else is not planned, and sometimes not is not wanted. And so
Right,
when
right.
we don't have the desire to become a parent, it tends to affect their relationship with the children. So I just want the people out there to keep that in mind as well. Not excusing it. I'm just, kind of want to make sure that you kind of grasp the reality of certain circumstances, and sometimes is at the expense of us, you know.
Yeah,
So
yeah. I mean, it took me becoming a man
yeah,
myself to kind of understand, some of the things that he was dealing with and going through. And,
right.
whereas, my sister's 10 years older than me.
Oh wow,
So
that's a
yeah,
lot. Yeah,
so even between me and my sister, like we didn't really have conversations in depth about, a lot of the past and the secrets, and a lot of this
right.
stuff until, maybe I was 18, and then I remember to this day, because um she was like, "Yo," she was like, "I'm in town," because like I said, she had been here in the city of Columbus for quite some time. So she came in town, and she's like, let's go grab something to eat. And then, we sat down, and like we sat down for hours. I think we may have like even closed the restaurant down, and we was talking,
Wow,
and she was,
wow. Mhm,
just
mhm.
letting me know about, all these different things, and, stuff about, my father that I didn't know, so there was a lot, to deal with. And you know what I'm saying? But even at the age of 18, and technically, being an adult, there's still things that I didn't understand until much later down the line.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I also understand that, just like, like I said before about the reality of, some of us not having the desire to be parents and be put in that position, but you also have to bear in mind that when the child gets older and you may need them to a certain capacity, if whatever they choose to respond to that, however they choose to respond to it, you got to accept it, because you made the decision to not be a part of the process of, the child's upbringing, and you didn't have a relationship with them at that time. So the same
Yeah.
way, you want us to understand your situation, your backstory, and how you didn't really was ready to be a parent, or whatever situation it is, and you decide not to be present in the child's life, is
Hmm.
the same way that you gotta accept the fact that there might be a time where you may need a kidney, or you may need, something on, and you wanna reach out to them, and don't be upset, or have don't have a strong reaction if they don't receive you, the way you didn't receive them. So it goes both ways. That's what I'm saying. It goes both ways. So just
Yeah, I get where you're
accept
coming
that.
from.
Yeah. So yeah. So I just want to kind of leave it there, but I want to go back into more into your upbringing before I get progress more into your timeline. So
Okay.
so you say that you have your sister is 10 years older, or it's just you
Mhm.
two?
Yeah, yeah,
Mm,
it's just us as far as living, my we had a sister that had passed at birth,
mm, mm.
but as far as like my upbringing, it was just me and my sister. And for the most part, just me because, my sister, she went on to college and I was like 8 years old, so
Right, right,
yeah.
yeah,
So even though me and my sister have a very close relationship, especially now. We're extremely close. Like, for, you know, my formative years, it was almost like being the only child. And she would come home and, spend time,
right. She was
you
living
know,
her life.
yeah,
Mhm.
she would take me places and stuff like that sometimes when she could. But, for the most part, it was kind of like being an only child a little bit.
Absolutely. And, did you
I
have
can
any
see the chat now. I can see the chat
oh,
now.
good, good. Okay, I'm glad,
Okay.
I'm glad.
D Dub, what it do? What it do? Uh,
Yeah, yeah, they all here, they all here.
all
So thank
right.
you so much for being here. And so, I wanted to ask you, I know you feel like your only child, your sister is living her life, but did you have any cousins or anybody in the community in the neighborhood that you
Oh
grew up
yeah.
with? Yeah,
Oh yeah, yeah. Plenty of cousins. And like I said, I spent a lot of time in my
in Atlanta.
yeah,
Yeah.
well in Atlanta, but
Mhm.
like during like when it wasn't summertime, I'd be in my grandparents. And my grandparents, they were like the resident foster children house. Like my
Yeah, no,
grand
I get it. No, trust me.
yeah,
Yeah, that
yeah,
that's been my story too. Yeah,
yeah,
we
so my
yes.
grandparents would, take in, different kids, and they would do this over the years,
Yes.
and then at the same time, like some of my cousins would come and live with my grandparents too. So I had a cousin um who lived with my grandparents for, I don't know, I want to say maybe like 5 or so years from New York. It sounds like you from New York.
Yes, that
Yeah.
is correct.
Okay.
Yes.
So yeah. So my cousin, I had an older cousin from Harlem, and he would come,
Okay.
and he would come, for like I said, about 5 or so years, and I would spend a lot of time with him, especially being at my grandparents' home. I had, a lot of cousins in the neighborhood as well. My father's side of the family is a huge family, whereas my mother's side is a lot smaller. But all of my mother's side lives in within the town that I grew up in.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, so everybody lived in that town. My father's side, there's so many of us. We're pretty much everywhere. Like I said, huge amount of my family in Atlanta, Georgia. I got my family in New York. I got family North
Wonderful.
Carolina,
I love it. That's
Detroit. Yeah.
wonderful.
So yeah, so
Yeah.
my father's side extends far and wide. But yeah, as far as like, where I lived and in my immediate area from Lorraine to Cleveland, my cousins were all over that area. So yeah.
Yeah. So I'm
And
gonna.
my mother, and I'm sorry to
That's
cut
all
you
right.
off, but yeah,
Okay.
and my mother would eventually take on my uncle's children, and so
Oh, wow.
I kind of grew up with my younger cousins
So,
that
yeah.
lived
So you
with
want,
us for a
yeah.
while.
So you
Yeah,
really weren't the early child after all.
yeah,
That
exactly,
that extended family just blended right on in. You
exactly,
know. And so,
exactly.
what was that like? That dynamic was like, because like I said, you had to. Did y'all fight over certain things, and y'all come together when y'all needed to? As I remember, did you fight over who's going to watch whatever on TV, or who's going to sleep where?
Yeah.
Who took the last bit of juice out the fridge? Like, like give us a little bit more of like,
Well,
what you
well, you know what? I mean, we didn't do a lot of fighting. Like
Okay.
I think with my cousins, like especially like just our mentality and like I like for me to be honest with you, when I see like people who are like at odds, with their siblings, it's very weird to me. It's
Oh,
very,
really?
yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like it was for the most part harmonious. Like of course we had like our little things like that, But like, with my cousins, like we always wanted to hang out. We always wanted to be around each other and, play games and stuff like that. So I don't have like a conflict as far as like my cousins or my sister. So and like I said, when I see people it's like, yeah, I don't mess with my sister. I'm like, damn,
Yeah,
that
yeah.
sounds crazy to me because that's
Right.
just not my
That's
reality.
that's not your
Yeah.
makeup. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
And that's good. That's
exactly.
a good thing. Yeah. Yeah, that's a good thing, where you're able to have that. Because unfortunately, there's some people that you have to use the no contact concept with.
Yeah.
And then like I said, that's okay. It doesn't mean that you you have hate in your heart for anyone. It doesn't mean that
Yeah.
it's just that there are certain people that are not part of your journey. There's some people in your life for a reason and for a season, and that includes family sometimes. But I'm glad that you was able to have a close knit unit.
Yeah.
You have that family dynamic, and so but you also, I want to before we get into, because I want to get into the elementary and junior high school of it all. But before we get to that, real
Mhm.
quick, because you're a recording artist, so I want to know, like, who are some of your inspirations behind you becoming a recording artist? Who did you grew up listening to?
Oh wow. Well, I mean, this be a longer conversation than the family conversation, be honest with you. But I'm just a huge lover of music. And like I said, my cousin from Harlem who was living with my grandparents for a certain amount of years, he like introduced me to hip hop, and the culture, right? He would
Okay.
come, he would go to New York and come back every now and then, and he would always come back with something, he come back with, the medallion, chain or something like that, like the Black Power medallion,
Yeah.
just different stuff, like stuff that I would only see on TV or even music, that I wasn't able to see, or hear, at that time. And so that kind of became like, my interest in the music or in the culture as far as that's concerned. Like he's, almost single handedly responsible for that. But as far as like literally influences, that go back as far as like Rakim, and I actually have a show with Rakim this Sunday.
Do you now?
Yeah, in Cleveland, Ohio. So I've been
Oh,
putting
okay. Wait a minute. No, because don't gloss over that now, Hijinks.
yeah.
Rakim the Raw, the
Yeah,
God. Oh, wow.
God.
I
Yeah.
mean, I don't, I don't feel, I'm not the big on calling people God, but
Oh, the
that's
God
one of
of
his
C. The
aliases. But
God
yeah,
of
the God is.
yeah,
But I mean, this
yeah.
is a true legend. So I just want to make sure I
True.
just take a moment to pay homage to one of the
Yes, sir.
greats. Rakim. So one of the
Yes,
greats. So
indeed. Yeah.
I didn't want you to gloss over that. But go ahead.
Oh no, no, I'm super excited about it.
Yes, yes.
I never seen Rakim perform live. So and the show's almost sold out according to, looking at the ticket sales. So it should be a good one. Um but yeah, I mean, you can go as far back as that. But like as far as like my interest, like it's like when I started to get into writing and, you know, having interest in participating in hip hop,
Mhm.
Jay-Z, was a big
Yes.
inspiration, which
Okay.
was a lot closer to, my teenage years versus, just kind
Right.
of seeing
Right.
like Rakim, Run DMC and stuff like that. I'm aging myself, but I'm not a
Hey.
spring chicken at
That's right.
all.
Hey, it bees like that. Hey,
But that those were my early influences in the culture. And then once I started thinking like I think I want to do this, I'm listening to, things like, Reasonable Doubt or, Snoop and Tupac and,
yes, yes.
so, all the early 90s classics that kind of got me interested in, seeing if I could, actually make it
Get
work for
into it.
myself. Yeah.
So let me ask you before we get more, because I want to make sure, like I said, I want to keep up with the chronological aspect. So when did
Mhm.
you start? When did you start your rap? When did you start? When did it start for you? That's what I want to say.
Okay. So officially
Briefly, because I want to make sure I establish a timeline here. So when did it start? Just briefly. So we'll get back to it.
99 officially.
Okay. All right,
Yeah,
pause. Okay. Well, because I
yeah.
want you to bookmark that, because I don't want us to,
Mhm.
like I said, because I want to make sure that, there's a reason why I'm going to establish a timeline, because I want to make sure we don't miss anything,
All right,
any highlights of your journey. So I just want
no
to make sure
problem.
that we'll bookmark that.
All
Um,
right.
so, um, So I want to go into elementary and junior high school because, like I always tell my guests, that's a pivotal time in our lives that we don't always
Mm,
acknowledge. We don't always bring up.
for
Sometimes
sure.
you don't want to, some certain things we don't want to remember, but it's also part of something very pivotal in our lives and a lot of
Mm,
self discovery going on. So I want to get into more of the elementary, junior high school of it all. I always tease with my guests. I say, that's when you discover your anatomy. That's when you start kissing the girls in the staircase and you
for
having the
real.
school lunches and, certain teachers you aspire to or, you
Mm,
gravitate towards and, sneaking, you sneaking and doing things, you just doing all kind of stuff. You're exploring. So
for
I
sure.
just want to get into the elementary, junior high school of it all, you
Yeah.
know. Mhm.
All right. Hey, what do you want to know? I
Well,
got you.
yeah, I want to know, like, starting with elementary school, like I said, like, how would you do? What were you doing? Like, how was your progress academically? Did you go get into extracurricular activities? Did you join any clubs? Were you
Mm.
popular? Just give us
Okay.
the tea.
Well, I would
Mm,
say academically, I always excelled academically.
good,
You
great.
know, um, and everything except math. I suck at math, but
Yeah,
everything except
yeah,
math. Yeah,
yeah,
math was
yeah.
always a struggle for
Mhm.
me. But
Yes,
and I think that's kind of why I took to the art of MCing so well because I was always as far as literary, a reader. I was always into words and phonics and so it kind of resonated and it made sense that I would take to actually rapping
right, right,
eventually. But at the time I wasn't thinking about that in elementary. Like I had a
right,
friend that was like the rapper of our like
right.
friend group, and it was just like, oh, he's the guy that raps. But he every now and then he'd be like, man, you should write a rap. And I'm like, I'll try it, and I did that here and there, growing up. But for the most part, I was an artist, a visual artist. Like that was always like, Johnny. Well, that's my name. I don't know if I don't know if anybody knows that, right?
Okay,
I'm
John.
talking
All
about my
right.
real life,
Yes.
yeah. And I don't mind, but yeah, Johnny, that's my real name. So everybody like, yeah, Johnny, he's the one that he draws and stuff like that. So that was kind of always my thing. Um, and as far as like popularity is concerned, I wouldn't consider myself popular, but I did hang with the popular crowd. Like my
Right.
friends were more so the popular
So
guys, right?
you got in where you fit in. You fit in, where you needed to fit in at that time.
It was just my friends with just
Oh,
the
okay.
with just the popular guys, for the most
Got it.
part. So people would know me like via them for the most part, but I was more reserved, and like even still like I'm not like super social. Look, people talking about Johnny laughing. Like,
Yeah, that's what he said. Yep. Yeah, 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 yep, yeah. He said, yep. He said
right,
that.
right. And you spelled it wrong, brother. Hold up, hold up.
Oh,
Because don't think I don't got it. Don't think I don't got it,
Let him
y'all. Y'all
know.
know I
You good.
got it.
Let him
Hold
know.
up.
Let him know,
Y'all know.
Hijinks. Let him know.
Oh,
Yeah, it works over here too, baby. All right. No, but yeah, so
That's funny. That's too funny.
yeah, but as far as like popularity is concerned, like throughout, I would say I didn't really even hit like my stride until high school, and that's when I got like my height, and my stature. Um, and then I started, playing football because I wasn't even really like super into playing like sports when I was younger. Like I didn't play little leagues and stuff like that.
Right,
I
right.
may have played like little league baseball, and I was like, I don't like it. And so, I stepped outside of it. But once I got into high school is when, they're like, man, you too big not to play football. I'm like, all right. So, I started playing football, and I think that's when I started to get like, I guess, a little more popular, so to speak. And plus just being around like the crew of guys I was with anyway, people like they knew me through them. So that's kind of how that worked.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Mm.
So, did you have like any teachers that that influenced you, or any teacher that had an impact? Because I was interviewing with Wealthy Jev, and he was telling me about
Mm.
um. All right, mother, I'm on live, mother. You know, she do that. Yeah.
Let
So
me let me mute my phone from mine call.
right. Yeah. So yes, I was interviewing Wealthy Jeb, and he was telling me about how there was this particular teacher that he had
Mm.
for a few grades back to back, and how toxic she was, and we talked about how a lot of times, there are certain demonic force. I don't want to say, I don't like to use that demonic force, but
Divine
there's
force.
certain yeah, but there's like
Yeah,
certain
yeah.
people that come into your in your space,
Mm.
and especially when it comes to teachers, because not all teachers are looking out for your best interest. They want a paycheck. So
Yeah.
yeah, so he was just telling me his experience about this particular teacher, and that she just didn't like him. She didn't like what he presented, because he was really free spirited, and he's always was into like doing different types of dances and music. He's into music as well, and
Oh,
because
okay.
he imitates his favorite artists, recording artists. So a lot of times we always, a lot of us tend to condemn what we don't understand at the time. So
Mm.
he was talking about that. So I was wondering, did you have that experience with any teachers, or were there any positive ones?
You know what? You know what's funny? Um, there's like a it's like a trope at this point, right? Especially when it comes to like rappers, that like you're not gonna be successful as a rapper unless a teacher
Right,
says you ain't gonna be shit, or you ain't gonna,
right.
my bad, I ain't mean to cuss, but um yeah, so but I've never had that experience. And I won't say that I had like a Mr. Clark in my life either, that was like, son,
Right.
here's the path that you need to take. It wasn't like that.
Yeah,
I just
right,
had
right.
teachers, to be
You just had
honest with
teachers that
you.
did, yeah, they did
Yeah,
what they,
like yeah,
yeah,
like I had teachers that were cool, and some teachers that I didn't necessarily like as much, but I didn't have a teacher that was just like the bane of my existence.
got it.
And that's probably more so because I've never really had any struggle academically. Like especially later on in life. I think my struggles academically happened like early when my father left. And I remember kind of like having like that moment, like, and I'm talking about like 8, 9 years old, right? Where I had teachers kind of like talking to my mother about my performance, but it was just me acting out, you know what I'm saying? Like I was extremely angry during that time. And so I was getting into fights. I got in a lot of fights. So
Mm,
so that was kind of part of my growing. But once I got into like, middle school, high school, that kind of like mellowed out. I mellowed out. I wasn't getting into as many conflicts. And for the most part, I would just do my work. So teachers didn't really have an issue with me,
got it.
and I was always able to do it and still, run the streets. You know what I'm saying? So, it was just easy. And it was easier for me to stay off my mom's radar as long as my work was doing good. So, that was part of the plan too. I was like,
Yeah, because you didn't want to
let,
stress out even more.
let me get the, I just
Mm,
wanted to do what I wanted to do without her asking questions. So that was,
got it. Right, right. Yeah. So you had to, yeah, like
yeah,
don't ask, don't tell. But yeah.
exactly. I was, let me, as long as the grades was coming through, she didn't have a whole lot of questions. So,
Right, right. Yeah, but I'm saying, so let me ask you, so you
yeah.
because I know, like, like I said, just kind of a lot of things is resonating with me when it comes to how
Mm,
as parents interact with their children. And you said that as
mm,
long as you had good grades, as long as you was doing okay, like, there was no questions being asked. But
mhm.
how did you feel a void? Because I understood you mentioned that your mom had to work. She had to put food on the table. She had to pay bills. And
Oh
so,
yeah.
and but Joe, so and then, sometimes it's hard juggling, that responsibility as being a parent. So did you sometimes feel a void? Like, did you really wanted her to spend more quality time with you? Did you want her to, ask questions sometimes? Did you want her to know how your day was, or how things were going more often than usual?
Yeah,
Did you
absolutely.
want
I
that
mean,
interaction? Yes, I would think you want that interaction at times, that you would want her to have more of an interest in you know, what was going
yeah,
on.
yeah. I was you know, I had, those moments of, where she couldn't make it to, the football games and stuff like that. So I mean, it took me a while to understand that, but at the same time, like I guess I don't want to say concern, but I guess my issues kind of fell where the absence of my
Your
pops,
father,
where
yeah,
I felt
yeah,
like he should have been, the one doing those things. So even though, I mean, there was like parts of my life where I felt like, well, damn, my mom, she can't make it to this, or when she comes home, she's not trying to do nothing. She's
right,
in her room. I had, I kind of just accepted it as how that's what it is. So even though, I won't say that she was, negligent, and that's not, she wasn't
right, right.
negligent,
No, no, right.
but just like the personal relationship or even talking about certain things, I kind of like got to the point where it's like, I can't really talk to her about that, or, I didn't feel comfortable talking to her about certain things. So we had barriers in our relationship that, have, gotten a lot smaller, over the
Mm,
years, especially in
mhm,
my adulthood. But, in my childhood, there was definitely some feelings there as far as, just her participation, in my life at the time. And so, that, I ventured out, and, I try to find, and learn things
right.
about, becoming an adult, in the streets, you know what I'm
Yes, you're
saying?
on
And
your
that's,
own. Yeah.
yeah, so that's kind of, how that came into play. And the main thing with her is just, with her was just like, don't don't be too suspicious.
Mhm.
As far as,
Okay.
like how I was moving at the time, it was, because for her, it's like as long as things were cool on the surface, she didn't ask too much about what I had going
What you had
on,
going on. Who did you
you know.
talk to? Who did you confide in? Did you, because you said, you was out there, you said you was in the streets. So,
Mm,
sometimes you do find family. Like, some people um, find family within, gang members or even,
mm,
even, um, streetwalkers, like, there's some people from out there that you do
yeah,
develop a rapport with, it beats like that sometimes. So who
yeah.
did you confide in? Who did you talk to? Who was your circle?
My circle, my immediate group of friends, that were, my peers. I actually there was, a couple of older cats, on the block who, I would talk to, and who, all of the kids would kind of talk to, and they would kind of like tell us about stuff that we probably shouldn't even have been knowing, during that time, right? There's an older cat down the street from me who, he actually had, served time, and, he came home, and, he was kind of like, you don't need to be doing this. He was that guy in my life. You don't need to be doing this, and, you need to be going in this direction, and, stuff like that. And, he introduced me to lifting weights. And, even though my grandfather, even though he was more so like the strong, silent type, he was, and him and my grandmother were the example as far as like relationship and marriage and love, so that was my, ultimate, um
Okay.
yeah, as
Your
far as
father figure.
yeah. So it was really just a mixture of people in my life. And, now that I think about it, and this, it's just funny because you got me thinking about things that I haven't even talked about
Mhm,
or spoken
mhm.
of. Like there was so many other people that were in my life too as well. You know, um, my pops actually had a best friend who, in a sense, was almost around more than he was, right?
Mm,
And his children were like brothers and sisters to me, and especially during a certain period of my lifetime, because I would go to their house after school sometimes. Um, and so I remember, having a lot of conversations with them. These are older, like almost a little bit younger than my sister, but these are people who are, again, um, a lot older than me, have a lot more knowledge about
right.
life than me, that
Mhm,
were,
mhm.
that I would talk to, about certain things. So yeah, I mean, it was very spread out as far as like, my village, is
Right, see,
concerned.
right. I was gonna say, yeah, the village, and so you still maintain some type of a support system, you
Yeah.
know, despite, you, be having this, anger. How did you Okay, let me ask you this. You said you had fought, in junior high and stuff like
Yeah.
that. You had that anger and aggression. How did
Yeah.
you how did you, get past how'd you overcome that? Or did you even know did you had to overcome it? How did you overcome it? What was your approach towards that?
Yeah, my mother made me see a psychologist.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, at a young age.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes. Shout
yeah,
out to
so
my yes, because that's always
yeah,
been like a that's been taboo back then, so yes.
yeah,
Yes. Kudos to
yeah.
mom.
I think I saw a psychiatrist probably from fifth to the seventh grade, maybe from the fifth to the seventh grade.
Nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
I hated it, but
Yeah, sometimes you have to do something that's not always comfortable for you, but
yeah,
did you find it beneficial? I mean, later, I mean, you may not,
oh yeah,
understand it at that time, but did you find it beneficial later on as you got older?
yeah. Anger regulation. That was primarily, um, what I would see them for, and it definitely helped me regulate my anger, a lot. You
Yeah,
know,
okay.
yeah.
Great.
So,
That's wonderful. So yes, so shout out to
mm.
mom for that. Yes,
Oh
because most
yeah,
parents are too proud to, kind of explore those things. So I'm glad that she was open enough to get you to that point where you're like, okay, let me just woosah.
yeah.
Even at that time, yeah. So but then yeah, thank you for sharing that. I mean, I appreciate you're giving a lot of perspective and you think you're
Oh yeah,
always,
for sure.
so I really appreciate that. Now we're going, excuse me. Now we're going to transition into high school. What high school did you go to?
Nate. Well, my high school is now it's a rubble. But the high school that I went to, is called Emerald King.
Emerald King.
Emerald King was the high school that I went to, and it was literally like a block and a half from my house. So I grew up always seeing this high school every time I stepped outside my door, right? And so it was like, all right, I know what high school I'm going to. It don't make sense for me to go to any other high school. But this high school is also the same high school that my dad went to, my sister went there, my uncle. Um,
So it's like a tradition for y'all.
yeah, 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 pretty much, pretty much. But yeah, it was a lot closer than my junior high school because my junior high school was, and I actually Googled this not too long ago. My junior high was 2.5 miles from the house, and I would have to
Mm.
walk to and from there. Me and my friends would walk to and from school, and I was like, I wonder how long that walk was because we walked it every day.
Yeah, you
And
tolerate a lot more at that time when you're younger. You
yeah,
tolerate more.
oh
Mhm.
yeah, oh yeah. So the fact that once I hit high school, it was a block away. I loved it. I loved that. But
Yeah,
all my friends, we all pretty much went to the same junior high and high school. So it was like it was an easy transition as far as, my friends and things of that nature is concerned. We were all from pretty much the same block radius, like 2 to 3 block
yeah,
radius. So
right.
yeah.
Yeah. So how was that experience like? Did you get into because we bookmarked the rapping. Did that start for you then in high
Mm.
school?
Actually, yes, well, a little bit after high
A little
school,
bit
but
after.
yeah,
Okay.
my interest in it started to peak in high school because my business partner, my best friend, my brother, who I'm with to this day, we met in in sophomore year in art class. And we both kind of bonded over art. Like we were both like illustrators and drawers, and then
Nice.
we kind of figured, that we both had interest in music, and then from there it kind of just became a thing. Like we would get together, do freestyles and stuff like that, and it was just for
Oh,
fun.
so you freestyle.
Oh yeah, well, yeah, for fun.
Oh. Oh, no, okay. No,
Back then.
we're gonna have some no, we're gonna have some fun. Now that you said that, we're gonna have some
No,
fun
no, no,
later.
no.
Uh,
Back then.
you said back then.
That was
You
back
can't
then.
freestyle now? You can't freestyle. I mean, no, because we're gonna have some fun with this. Okay, we're
Mhm.
gonna have some fun. Yeah, oh yes, yes.
I,
Mhm.
I,
Yeah.
I wasn't ready for all that. Listen,
Yeah, hey,
but
look, you don't have to get ready. You just, you have natural talent. You got natural skills.
all right,
So it
all
should
right.
just come natural to you. Yes, yes. Okay, so duly
So
noted.
yeah, so yeah, that was
Yeah.
kind of how we got into it. We got interested in it just based off of that. Our our mutual love for, the music and just interest and, like who was hot at the time. And, from there, it just kind of ended up being like, man, we should do a song, you know. And then once high school was over with, is when we actually started looking into like recording music. So it wasn't until, after
After,
school
okay.
to where
All
we
right.
was
So,
like,
all right,
yeah,
bookmark that part. Okay.
yeah.
So I'm glad, but I'm glad you was able to like, we're able to kind of piece it together. So we're able to kind of like, kind of, um, what I want to say,
Hmm.
kind of establish a pattern. Okay, that's what I want to say.
Right, right.
Yeah,
Okay.
the words didn't come out, but I got it. I got it. All right.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
Yeah. So high school.
Hey,
All right.
hey.
Yeah. So that's another pivotal time, another
Mm.
level of self discovery. So at that time, what did you discover about yourself? Did you start dating? Was it more academically challenging for you? 'Cause I know you said you always excel academically. Like, did you? Or were you into sports at that time? And any other things like in high school?
Yeah, so high school is when is when I actually started playing um sports as far as like football and stuff like that. Um so being into the sports, kind of running with the crowd I was running with, high school actually was a little bit better than junior high because, I hit my growth spurt. Um
Right.
yeah, like in junior high, um dealing, I was still kind of dealing with the anger issues and stuff like that. It was a lot more, troubling. And like I even had, you know, I guess you could say bullies, like at that point in time in my life.
Mm,
Um, so like I was dealing with a lot of that on top of what was going on at home. And so it was kind of like it wasn't like constant, like it wasn't like everybody hates Chris or nothing like that. But I do remember kind of like having that point and period in time where I was really hating school and I didn't want to go. And
yes, yes,
like
of
so
course.
once I hit high school, like I said, I hit my growth spurt, and so there was no bullies no more. There was
Yeah.
there was no bullies.
Right,
You know what I'm
right.
saying? There was
Yeah,
no,
'cause right, you wasn't having that.
yeah. So
Yeah.
and I think again, learning how to regulate, anger a little bit better. Like I said, I still struggle with it, and in high school, I had a couple fights in high school as well, but
Mm,
I was a lot better at regulating the
right.
anger. So,
It was
it was
progress.
yeah, it was a lot better, as far as socially for me than it was like in junior high and grade school. But I would say romantically, um do I want to put this out here? Do
Go
I
ahead.
want to put this out here?
Put it
All
out
right,
there.
so
Put it out there.
mind you, right? This is something that is
And let
not.
me let me ease up for this one.
Go
Okay.
ahead, you can ease
Yeah,
up.
yeah, ease up for this one.
So mind you, I had like a girlfriend and um like seventh and eighth grade, and we ended up breaking up. And so I wasn't like, in a relationship at the time, throughout the majority of my high school time. And even though this is commonplace now and it's not like really a big deal, I am the first person that I know to ever start dating somebody on the internet.
Oh, really?
Yes. Yes. So my very first girlfriend that I would consider to be like my actual girlfriend, like uh long-term relationship started on the internet.
Mm. Well, it's like online dating app?
No, there was no online dating back then. It was just
Yes, it was,
online.
but I mean, yeah,
No,
but
no, it was not.
well, no,
we're
no, I mean
talking, yeah.
online, yes, online, yes, not app, but online, yes, because I've signed up for plenty of those, but yeah, it was online.
No, we're talking about the
Yeah,
beginning of the internet almost.
yeah, that's
All right.
okay. Yes, I'm
We're
saying, but it
talking
was online
about 90,
dating.
like 96. Like the online dating wasn't a thing.
It was a thing. Yes, it
It
was.
wasn't a thing. You could meet people online,
Online,
right?
right.
You could talk
Yeah.
to people online, but
Right, right.
they weren't like come
It was a
here
pop. I mean,
so
yeah, it
you
wasn't.
can
Yeah,
date.
it wasn't. Yeah, because it was because you have to really be careful at that time. It was way more, dangerous at that time. I mean, it
It
still
was
is now,
just
but it
so
was. It was.
basically what it
Yeah.
was. So basically what it
Okay.
was is that it was just a chat room. Matter of fact, it was like a chat room about
Yeah,
music.
yeah.
It was a
Okay,
music chat room that I was in.
okay, okay.
And I started messaging this girl on in a music chat room, and we started talking. And then we went from talking to talking on the phone. We went from talking on the phone, and eventually we met in person. So it happened, but it wasn't like I'm looking online to find a girlfriend. It just happened that way. And like I remember at the time, people would be like, "Hey, how y'all meet?" And we'd be like, "I don't really want to tell you how we met." So I mean, it's nothing
Yeah,
now, right?
yeah, right.
But
Mhm.
we were together for 5 years.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? So we kind of
So that
we
was your high school
started.
sweetheart?
Well, we started dating online at the end of my or at the beginning of my senior year.
Oh, okay. So
That's yes.
you was transitioning. Okay.
Right.
Mhm.
So as far as like my whole like damn near my whole senior year, I wasn't even social. I would go and talk to this girl. Almost the whole year, I was just entrenched in this woman that I met online who lived in Mississippi.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, so she wasn't even in the same city. Like it was hard to
Wow.
find somebody in the same city. That's
Mhm.
how much people wasn't not online yet. You could not find somebody in the same city as you unless you were in New York or something like that. But for the most part, we would just talk. And after school, I do my work, come home, do my sport, do my football, come home, talk to her, go to sleep, do the same thing. That was like my whole senior year for
So
the most part.
it was a long distance relationship.
Yeah, she was in Mississippi. I'm from
Yeah,
Ohio.
yeah, it was long distance. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I'm from Ohio. So she was in Mississippi.
And
So
y'all did this for 5 years?
no, 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 we ain't do that for 5 years.
Oh,
Let
how
me
about this?
let me clarify.
Okay.
Let me clarify. No. So my senior year, we started talking, and I didn't meet her in person until my graduation day. Now, she lived in Mississippi, but she had family in Indiana.
Mhm,
And
mhm.
Indiana and Ohio right next to each other. So eventually she would come to Indiana because she had her mother and her sisters lived in Indiana, and she would move to Indiana. And then we would have a long distance relationship between Ohio and Indiana. But when we met, she was in Mississippi, right? So we talked my whole senior year, and then she actually came and saw me on my graduation day. So that's how that worked.
Wow. And how was
Mhm.
that like? I mean, what was that like for you guys?
I mean, it was young love.
Yeah, yeah.
Said that's how I met my
Yeah.
ex-wife Yahoo chat. Shout out Chick. It wasn't a thing back then. Exactly. It was not. It was not a thing. So I mean, we talk about
Yeah.
like
Mhm,
95,
mhm,
96.
mhm.
You know.
Mhm, mhm.
Um
Yeah, but I'm thinking about because I'm thinking like online date. I'm thinking about Black Planet and
Black Planet was
would you take
after.
you that was after?
It was after Black Planet. I was out of high school when Black Planet because
Yeah,
I
I
got
mean,
on
it
Black
seemed like
Planet too.
it would seem like it
No,
was like, yeah, because
Black Planet.
okay.
I was out of school.
Yeah, OK Cupid and
That was
yeah, I was
way
thinking
after.
it was after. Oh,
That was
okay.
way after. Trust me, I
Oh.
I I know this chronologically because it was based on exactly like when my relationship was, when it ended, and then Black Planet became a thing, and stuff like that. But at that time, it was not, and
Hmm.
so it was weird to tell people that you met somebody online.
Yes, it was, right.
Yeah,
'Cause they judged you harshly. Oh, yeah, they judged you
yeah,
harshly. They made it seem like, you were just pitiful, desperate, and, yeah. Because I remember back, I remember the chat line on the phone. I remember that, that was back then,
mm,
on the phone,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
chatting, meeting people that way. Yes, I
Hmm.
remember that. But, okay,
Yeah.
okay. Well, I stand corrected, I'm okay,
No, no, no,
okay.
no,
Yeah,
no.
so,
Just
but
trust me. I know.
no, no, he's like, "I know." So I
Oh,
got this, like, I
yeah.
remember, but
Mhm.
alright, but so you, just kind of, getting back into the high school phase, football,
Mhm.
getting more into the creative side? 'Cause you said that you met some people through art and, you experienced your first relationship. It was transition
Yeah.
out of high school, but you were still in that cusp. I'm sorry, that cusp,
Yeah.
in that. So is anything else you wanna, like any other highlights you wanna share as far as high school goes?
I mean, as far like I said, I mean, you know, I was really addicted to the internet during my senior year of high school, and I was addicted to this woman that I was speaking to, and so
Aw.
I was very much so removed from like the social scene that I was a part of like during my first 3 years of high school. So it wasn't a lot that I did, outside of like kind of cultivating this relationship. Um, and then eventually, obviously I would graduate and move on, and then me and her, she would eventually come and move to Ohio permanently. But um,
Mm,
that was kind of like the beginning of me becoming an adult, and it was, you know, trying to figure out how I was gonna make a life with this woman that I fell in love with, so that was like
aw,
the
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
that was like, that damn near it engulfed my life at that time, which, I kind of had my reservations about that because I got a nephew that's kind of at that age right now, and he's talking to me about love and stuff, and
Mhm.
I'm like, I'm not really that much of an advocate, especially at that point,
Right, at night.
turning your
You're
life
so
around.
young. Mhm.
Yeah. Um, but at the same time, that's the life that I lived, and I'm glad that I did like have that type of love for somebody, at
Yeah,
some
it's
point in my life.
so I'm glad you say that. So you do see it as a good thing, you do yeah. Is at
Yeah,
least you
absolutely,
yeah.
absolutely, because just over the years, and dating and stuff like that, down the line, I would find out that there's a lot of people that never experienced that,
Right,
and it
right.
would always shock me. I'm like, wow, like you never, felt that type of way for somebody,
Yeah, you'd be surprised. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
So it gave me a better appreciation for that moment, even though there was stuff that, I felt or decisions that I made that I probably shouldn't have made a priority at that point in my life as far as building
yeah.
uh
Mm,
myself as a man. Like it's just you know the yin and the yang of it, so
right.
yeah.
But I mean, you have those, I think it's a blessing to have those teachable moments. And I know a lot of times we talk about love and relationships,
Mhm.
it's so multi-layered, first of all. I mean, it's so much that we can unpack there. But for the
Yeah.
most part, I think that is something that you do need to dive into. I mean, sometimes, you gonna have some hits and misses, but I think that as we get older and the more we learn more about ourselves and about how to navigate relationships and the outcome of those relationships can,
Mhm.
it can leave a sour taste in your mouth for some people, for some of us sometimes. And it kind of leads us into this bitter path or just leads us to this path where we're so like guarded and it may not be healthy, but it's always they feel like it's always their solution to avoid hurt, and you can't avoid that. There's something you can't certain things you can't avoid, but I'm glad that you were able to see the positive side of it. So I'm glad that you're able to see that. Well, regardless of the outcome, regardless to even if it didn't, because
Mhm.
5 years is a long time, especially coming out barely out of high school. That 5 years is a long time. So be able
Yeah.
to experience that long term type of relationship and get some out of it. So, but okay, so let's go. Let's unpack real quickly. So based off of that long term relationship and you
Mm.
learning more about yourself, you're learning more about the opposite sex, and y'all navigating through this, and y'all are so young and so inexperienced at that time. What what about yourself? Because I like to ask, okay, these are like a kind of a multi-part question. What
Mhm.
have you learned about yourself, and what do you take with you into your next relationship if you have one? I don't know if you have one or not, but what do you take with you? Um,
No, no, I'm single. I'm single. So from that relationship, being that young, there wasn't a lot that I necessarily learned, especially upon the ending of that relationship. What's going on, Melanin? Okay, I got almost all the mods in the house here.
Yeah, they coming through. They coming through.
Yeah. Look, Angela, you getting questioned now. Let's so as far as like I would say like my lessons kind of happen down the line over the years, like cumulatively, right? Just my ability to communicate and like understand what it is that, I'm looking for, and what I what aligns with me, and the type of woman that aligns with me, and have an understanding for, what priorities, mean inside of a relationship. And
Yes, yes.
um, like all of those things kind of built up over time rather than like after that particular relationship. Because I would go on obviously to have other relationships, from that point in my life till now. Um, but for the most part, um, I would just say for me, um, accountability, as
Yes.
well as patience
Mhm,
are
mhm.
the things that, have taken me quite some time to, come to terms with, and how, I navigate myself within a relationship. And, those are the things that I feel like if I was to get into another relationship at this point would make me a better partner. But, I also know, I'm stubborn.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You and me
Yeah,
both.
I'm stubborn. So,
Mhm. Yeah.
I don't really like to, say that because it makes it seem like I'm not willing to make the adjustment.
Right, that you're
I
so
just,
rigid.
but
Right, you're not
yeah, but
open-minded.
but but I am aware. I know there's things that are non-negotiable with me, but at the same time, I'm definitely not trying to be as rigid as I have been in the
Right.
past.
But they trying to find you somebody, so maybe
Wow.
y'all can, okay, Melanin Fire, maybe y'all can set up like a dating show, like for the love of Jinx, maybe you can do something.
Oh,
Yeah, we know that's. Hey, I'm just throwing ideas out there for your supporters. The supporters, you could do like a show, a dating show for the love of Jinx, screen some, make sure you vet some of these women because
for
they
the
all
love
some of
of
them are crazy.
Jesus.
Yeah, some of them are
Oh my
crazy. So make sure
God.
you vet them out, dude. Make sure you do your checks, thorough checks, and just do like a
Or
something on this platform. Yeah,
have me out here with like Drewski
yeah,
and
get a few contestants out there and then just kind of put something together and let Jinx choose. Let them get to know some of these some nice, women. Like what are your spiritual beliefs?
Ooh.
What are your do you have any spiritual beliefs? I want to make sure I establish that.
Oh, you said spiritual beliefs?
Do you have any?
Um,
'Cause I want to make
yeah, I mean, I was raised in traditional Baptist.
okay.
As far as like where I'm at, I kind of have my
Hmm.
I kind of have my back and forth, my reservations in terms of religion is
Okay.
religion is concerned. So I'm not necessarily practicing, and
Okay.
as far as like me going to church and things of that nature, like I haven't been to church in quite some time.
But what do you stand in your beliefs now? What is your belief? Like where
I
do you stand on
believe
your beliefs now?
I believe in God. I believe in
So yes,
a
so
higher power. Yeah.
yeah, okay. I was want okay. So I'm
Yeah.
glad I want to make sure I establish that before we move forward. I always want to make sure I respect one's belief system.
Yeah.
But yes, so going back to for the love of Jinx, so make sure that that person is God fearing. So maybe that person could kind of shift Jinx beliefs and kind of answer those questions that he has. Like really, maybe kind of give some more perspective and open his mind up to certain aspects of religion or spirituality that he
Mm,
they may fill in that void. So yeah, so
mhm.
keep that in mind, you guys, supporters, moderators, keep that in mind when y'all put this thing together and try to get Jinx
Oh
a
my
person,
God.
Jinx up.
Bruh.
So keep that in mind. Just keep those things in mind. Yeah. So but okay. So now once you graduated from high school,
Mhm.
where did you go from there? Like right after high school, where did you
Um,
right after that?
Yeah, so I
Make sure Jesus.
make sure Jesus
We're gonna get into all of
can't
that too.
stand y'all. Um as far as like after high school, I did attend a community college because
Okay.
they
Which
had
one?
Lorain County Community College.
Okay.
Yeah. So it was a college in my within my town, right? So I went to that college um on an academic
Oh, okay.
scholarship, so to speak.
Nice. Nice.
So yeah, so and that's the reason that I went there because I had planned on going to Savannah. Um, but come to find out the money wasn't there,
Got it.
and so
Right. Right.
but I wanted to go to Savannah School of Art and Design. That's where I wanted to go. So I would attend college and then eventually drop out. So I did drop out. And I eventually I went back years later. And I went to Pittsburgh Art Institute.
How did you end up in Pittsburgh?
Well, it was the Art Institute that would seem to be the most popular at the time, and
Okay.
I was looking to establish a career in what I do now, which is marketing and media. So
Okay. Oh, okay. So that's your occupation right now?
yeah,
Okay.
which is kind of
Okay. All
like
right. Makes sense.
how you
Makes sense.
see the
Yes.
YouTube channel, and
Yes.
if
Makes
you see
sense.
my music, like I produce the majority of my music videos and stuff like that. So yeah,
Oh,
I
nice.
do all of
Nice.
that. Yeah.
So what was your concentration when you was in school and college? What was your concentration, your major?
Um, Commercial design, graphic design.
Commercial design, graphic
Yeah.
design. Okay,
Mhm.
that's good to know. Okay.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
because I try to gather you guys up, because like I said, I'm just building my platform. So I'll be
Yeah.
like, whoever I'm able to encounter with that skill set, I'm like, okay, I got to make note of that.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
gotta
Yeah. I
reach
mean,
out
that's
to.
yeah. I do a little bit of all of that stuff. I build websites for
Oh,
um
oh,
yeah clients. I manage a few of their social media platforms. I do video production. Um, yeah, a few different things.
okay.
So
Oh, good to know. Good to know.
that's my livelihood.
Yes, right. Oh, your livelihood. So that's not your
Yeah.
passion. You saying that's not your passion?
Well, I mean, I would say this. I mean, there is some passion in the act of creativity. Um, but it is still my livelihood. Is how I put food on the table. So it's
Got it.
definitely my livelihood. Yeah,
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 duly noted. And
yeah.
so,
My passion is music. So
okay, okay, good. I'm
yeah,
okay. That was
yeah,
okay. Now we're getting somewhere. Okay. Yeah.
right.
And so going into that, that's actually
Hmm.
a good segue. Because we got into, when you started your rap journey. And
Hmm.
so can you get more into that? Because we're kind of in that within that timeline where it all began for you. So how did it begin and what took you there? What took you there?
So like I was saying, my best friend and my partner, like um, we are currently like creating like a platform for other artists to like join us. But when we started, it was just us and it was just fun. So my other channel, United Grind, I got my United Grind shirt on right now.
Yeah, shout out to United Grind.
My
Mhm.
United, yeah, my channel. If y'all don't follow United Grind, even if you don't like rap, follow it anyway. Just follow it.
Just support. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, we bonded, and it was more just like just a casual type of thing. Is how we had fun, and then eventually it just turned into like, man, I want to do a song. I think we could, create a dope song, and we kind of went on this journey to find somebody who could produce us, and so we can actually get into the studio, and that journey, it's quite a long story, but that journey just kind of led to, oh, you know, learning more about the hip hop culture and learning about,
Yes.
becoming like a historian in hip hop,
Mhm,
and learning
mhm.
about the beginnings of it. And I became entrenched in it. I was obsessed for a while. Matter of fact, I got a book up there. Uh, what is it? What is it called? Something. The history of hip hop. Like these are all things that I collected like during that time, right? Um, so I got very deep into it, and then we kind of got into the performance aspect of it, and once we started doing shows, I just kind of became hooked. You know, as a performer all the way around, and it was like that for a while, and then we sat out for a certain amount of years, and then after I want to say maybe like a 7 or so year hiatus, we decided to get back into it. So there
Okay.
was a stint of my
There's some
life
hills
where
and valleys. There's some hills and
yeah,
valleys.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. We stepped away for it for quite some time. It's like, man, we're getting too old for this. And
Mhm.
that was kind of like the idea for a long time. And I really wasn't interested in doing music for a while. And, you know, honestly, from that point in my life till now and me getting back into it, I look at my life at that time and there was a lot of things that I was going through at that time
Right,
personally,
of
but
course.
it was
Right.
also I was also not creating and I wasn't happy.
Mm.
Yeah, like I wasn't happy not creating. And so, you know, to this day, us getting back into the music, like we made some strides in terms of where we're at. Like, mind you, like we're all seasoned gentlemen. Like we don't have delusions of being on the BET Hip Hop Awards or winning Grammys and stuff like that. We know what our lane is. We're independent artists. We're able
Mhm.
to move and, kind of support ourselves in the independent circuit. And we know that's where we're at. We don't have any, illusions about that. So it's not like we're trying to, we always trying to,
Right, because it wouldn't
to
hurt
get
to,
more exposure.
get to that point, but that's, but it's,
Yeah, but
right,
that's
but you
just not our
continue.
lane. That's
Right,
not our lane. I know what my lane is.
right.
I know that there's room for growth where I'm at. And so we're definitely still at that stage where we're trying to grow where we're at, but it's not to the degree of where I guess our dreams were when we were younger, which, being famous and being on TV, being on MTV and stuff like that. That's not where we're at with it right now. We're
Okay.
enjoying what we're doing, we're enjoying creating, and we know that we can get to a certain point financially where we can make a living doing music. We know that that is more than possible, and we know people that do it. I was just on tour with with some guys from Detroit, that are doing the same thing, supporting themselves off of music, and they're not on TV and stuff like
Right,
that.
right.
So,
Yeah.
we know where we want to go, we know where we need to go, and we're cool with that.
Yeah, right, you're content
Yeah.
where you have some contentment of where you are,
Oh yeah.
at this basic okay,
Oh yeah.
and that's the most important thing, but make sure you support, Hijinks, I just played, a snippet of his video,
Yeah, I
Aura
wasn't
all over,
expecting it.
so ma yeah, yeah, I
Oh
could
yeah,
dig
that
it, I
was
could do some
pleasant.
digging, I could do some digging, so, yeah, so make sure
Thank you.
Imma have all of his information in the description box, please make sure you support him and, United Grind, all of the independent artists out there that need your support. This is where you need to this is where you need to step, show up for your boy. Show up for
I
your boy.
just got
Yeah.
I just got a match on a dating site.
Oh, so you've been looking or you've been
No,
searching?
no, it just popped up, and I was like, "Huh, who is this?"
Okay. Who's it? Who's it?
Look, I can't put them.
No, no, no. I'm just joking. I'm just joking. You got it. No,
Okay, all right.
yeah.
No, I
So,
don't know. I don't know the lady, but she responded, so I'll respond after this.
oh yeah, go ahead. Go. You see? I mean, it's manifesting. It's manifesting, Jinx. You see that?
Nah, that's just
That's
funny.
on the divine timing. I don't care what you say. That's on the divine timing. Yeah,
Divine timing.
it is. I truly
Man,
believe that. Well,
she hit me.
oh,
She hit me with
I'm
that.
a believe it.
She hit
I'm
me
a
with
believe
the hey
it.
with 3 Ys. Hold up.
Oh hey. Let me see. Let me
Hold
see.
up. I'm not gonna put her face on there, but hold up.
No,
Oh,
that's
I
not.
switched
That's
it.
not. Yeah,
I
that's not.
switched it. Hold up. There you go.
Oh,
You
okay.
see it, the hey with three
Yeah, see,
Y's.
hey. All right. Yeah, let us know how that goes. Let your audience know how it goes.
I'm sure they'll ask me. I'm sure
Yeah,
of that. So yeah,
yeah.
we'll see.
All right now.
Yeah,
Nothing wrong with that. This is all about the engagement, right? Yeah.
man.
But yeah, I'm really am proud of where you are right now in your journey, and I'm proud. I'm even more proud of the fact that you're content with it. So that's most important. And you're happy with it, and so what?
I'm reading the comments. You
Oh,
know,
they're gonna get, oh yeah, they're gonna, oh yeah,
yeah,
they're gonna get you. They're gonna get you.
yeah,
Yeah, they're gonna get you. Yeah,
yeah.
but let's get into the content creation of it all. How did you become so interested enough in the Country Wayne skits that you decided to do commentary on it? Based on the skits.
Man,
Mm.
that's the question that I thought that I was coming on here to answer. To be honest,
Oh well, you thought it was only about that? No.
we went so
Oh
personal. I'm
no, what
like,
you
Lord, I didn't,
oh man, listen, I don't know why you thought that. But yeah, but let me go ahead real quick and just give you, in case those of you have been under a rock these last couple of years. Those of you who are not aware of who Country Wayne is, he is a well-known comedian. He's been he's been on the in the game since, it's been some time now. It's been some years since he's been on
yeah,
in the comedy circuit, really been doing big things. He had a story to tell, and now he's sharing storylines on the YouTube and Facebook spaces. He's been doing these skits for some time now, and
yeah,
there's so many different storylines. If you want to get into the soap proper type of feel, or get into the comedic side of stuff, but it's it's one of those type of
yeah,
platforms where it's given so many people opportunities, not just for the actors and people behind the scenes, but people like Jinx who are doing content and making getting some bread out of it. So I think that I think it's a great lane that Wayne has, just a little something, something, little something, something.
little
Yes, I
something
think shout out for Country Wayne for
for
um,
sure.
building this platform and allowing other people to build opportunities in this
Mhm,
space. So I just want to kind
yeah,
of get a feel of it, get a
yeah,
feel of the type of
yeah.
content that you do. So I wanted to know, like, what was it that fascinated you about Country Wayne skits?
So I mean, it's funny because it's a multi like faceted
It
kind of
really is.
answer
It really, yeah,
because
yeah. Mhm.
I had always kind of like had the inclination to do more on YouTube because mind you, I've had my United Grind channel, my music channel for upwards of 10 years.
Oh, really?
So,
Oh,
but
okay.
YouTube was just a place for me to upload my music and my videos. So it was never like content creation, as far as I'm concerned, right? I mean,
Got it.
essentially it is, but it was just like, all right, we shot a music video. Where do we put it? YouTube,
Put
right?
right,
So the idea of being a content creator was really just like, man, I have these skills, technically and, you know, dealing with video and production. If I had the time, I could probably do YouTube content. And it was just like, all right, well, what would I do it? What would I do if I was going to do the
right. What would you?
content? Right. And so me just having that thought had been resonated in my mind for a while, and it was just never like something that I felt like I would have the time to do. I have so many things on my plate.
Right,
So
right.
once I kind of got into the reaction, you know what I'm saying, like content, and I'm like, oh, people are making content off of other people's content, right? So I'm like, that's easy to do. I could do that. In my mind I'm like, okay, well, what would that be? And so fast forward, we get to the pandemic and I start getting into the Country Wayne content. Like I'm literally watching
Oh,
this
okay.
stuff.
So that's what.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm
That's
watching backlogs of his content because I hadn't watched Country Wayne up until then. I just seen him. He would come across, my social media. I'd laugh at him. I'm like, man, this dude's hilarious. But I didn't get in tune to the skits and like the fact that he was building the Wayneverse. That's what we call it.
Yeah, right, right.
Right. I didn't know that this was happening until, like 2020. So I'm watching, these skits and I'm looking at old skits. I'm like engaging in the comments and I'm all of this stuff that I probably wouldn't do any other time, just because of how my life is. And it's the pandemic and I got time today.
You
So
got
I'm
time, right?
I'm on, so I'm on the
Everybody got
comments and I'm
time.
talking about this character and I'm like, this is crazy. And at a certain point, I'm like, man, I got more to say about these characters. And then it was like, wow, well, you always been talking about reacting. Why don't you react to the Country Wayne content? And I'm sure there's plenty of people who were doing it, but I hadn't seen anybody do it, when I
Mm,
started, so eventually, I decided to do a Country Wayne reaction. And I was like, well, let me see how it does. And then I made a deal with myself. If I get so many subscribers within a
right.
certain time, that I would keep
You
going.
keep going, keep right.
Because up until then, it was just like, I'm just gonna see, and then I didn't really put too much thought into it. And then it was like, man, I'm getting to the point of being able to monetize myself. And that was kind of like the catalyst to keep
Of
going.
course, of course.
All right. Um, and up until, up until last year, I didn't start going live with the content. And that's when we started actually building the community. But a few, of the people in my fam, they were there from the beginning when I was just uploading videos.
Right.
Um, and for them to kind of like still be around and, still, interact with, the page. And even though some of them, like a lot of, like, to be honest with you, and I'm figuring this out myself, like a lot of them, they're like, I don't even watch Country Wayne until, you,
Until right, until they
yeah,
do. Yeah,
until with me,
yeah.
until they do it with me. And that's even more, special to me because I'm like, wow, they're seeing, even though the content that Country Wayne, they're putting the work in and the effort and the time, there is also an element to it that I bring that is unique enough
Yes.
for people to say, like, hey, I don't really watch it anymore, but I watch it with you,
Right,
so
exactly.
yeah, yeah.
So let me ask you, have you been watching other reviews? And if so, who are some of your favorite content creators that that you watch that do the Country Wayne reviews?
To be honest with you, I haven't watched any other
Oh,
Country Wayne.
yeah, you need to get into the loop. You need to get in the
What see? Well,
loop.
this is the thing, right? This is the
Yeah.
thing. This is, and it's not for any other reason other than my perspective is what brings my audience to me, right? So for me to watch the other creators, I feel like if my perspective is influenced, then it's not as genuine. You know what I'm saying? And it's,
Oh, okay.
and that's really the only reason that I don't really delve into it. And plus, honestly, the time that I do have to watch the content, I'm watching it from Country Wayne because that's how I get the live reaction of it, right? It's not like me, it's not a review, it's me reacting in real time.
Got it.
So I'm watching the content in real time, and that's literally like the only time segment that I have to watch the Country Wayne content. So then to like go back and then watch somebody else who just
Right.
watched what I watched and watch what they say about it, it's just not enough time in my day, unfortunately, for me to
Right.
do that. Even though I have peeked in and saw like, okay, I wonder what they got going on. But I'm not enough for me to say the channel off the top of my head. But
Right.
I have seen and looked
Mhm.
at some other of the content creators, and shout out to them, man. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? Like
Mhm.
I wouldn't. And honestly, we talking about collaboration. If there are other content creators in the Country Wayne
Mhm.
universe, I
Right.
wouldn't be opposed to doing like a collab or or doing like or having them come on my live because
Right. Have a panel. Mm.
yeah, or something like that where we
Mhm.
can live react together. That's something that I would be open to too. So it's like it's not anything against any of the other uh creators, anything like that. What's somebody sounding like J Mo? You talking about
Okay.
Jackie?
And how so, Jackie? How so?
Oh, that's for
Yeah.
Jackie.
But there's nothing wrong with having, and I understand, like, you want to make sure that you maintain your true organic perspective on the skits, and
Hmm.
I do understand that. But I don't think it would change if you watch other people's reviews and have their perspective. I don't think it would change if you're, if you stand 10 toes down on what your perspective is. I don't think that would influence. And I don't think we'll have an influence either way, whether you decide to. I'm just saying, just wanted to assert that.
Yeah, probably. That's just my thought. That's just
Okay.
always been
No,
my
I get it.
thought on it.
No, but I get where you're
It's
coming from.
because
Mhm.
because this is the thing. I'm almost the same way when I'm creating music. Like I
Okay.
can hardly listen to other people's music when I'm in
Right.
creative mode. That's just how I am. But I mean, I'm like I said, I'm not against it. You know what I'm saying?
Right. No, right.
That's just how I've been operating since I started the channel. And somebody said, "Where is this Country Wayne sector?"
It's
Um,
I mean, I could give you some name people, some if you want, if you're asking about what RNY TV, if you're asking about some of the YouTube channels, is that what you're asking? Is that I just want to make sure that I answer you correctly. Are you asking about some of the content creators that are doing the Country Wayne skit content? Just give me some clarity. Okay. All right. So real quick, hijinks. We'll I'll pause
yeah.
for a second. I just want to for one, hijinks, his channel is right on the screen right here. He's the one that does the Country Wayne reviews and also live reactions in real
Yeah.
time. Also
Mhm.
Deontay reviews. Can you do me a favor? Some of the moderators, if you can, put some of the channels links in the chat for me, if you can. If you are familiar with some of the some of the content creators, I'm sure because they get around. These people get around to other to different content creators. Deontay
Angela
reviews.
knows all of them.
Yeah, right. So
Angela know
please
all of
put the links in the chat. So RNY TV as well as others that please make sure you support these content creators as well. O'Neill TV is
What you
another
talking about
one.
a love interest, Melanie?
Yeah,
What you talking
Vaughn's reviews, Vaughn's reviews. That's another one.
Mm.
Who else? That I'm familiar with. There's so many. So once you get into those channels, into those spaces, and you start viewing their content, then you probably get some more content creators in the Country Wayne universe on your algorithm as well.
You probably won't
So
get
yeah,
mine. So you if
yeah.
you wanna if you wanna see my channel, you gotta go direct because they
Yeah,
be shadow
Auntie
banning me or
Riri,
something.
thank you. Yeah, post the chat, put their channel. If you're able to get their channel links for me,
They
put it in the chat.
shadow ban now.
Put the channel links up, or even give the names like Jackie did. Thank you so much. But please put these content creators links up there as well, so you can support these content creators. So thank you for the inquiry, RY. All right. So so going into that Jinx,
Mhm.
can you give me your favorite storyline right now so far? Give me your favorite storyline.
The favorite storyline right now?
Yes,
Um,
so we could talk about it.
hmm.
Just to talk about it a little bit.
I mean, right now, I would say the Shayla,
Of
Iman,
course.
and Delisha love triangle.
Oh, that
But
okay. That
right,
one. Okay.
yeah, yeah. But right now, I mean, they're not even. I don't know if they even know if Iman's coming back to the skits. So we were talking
Right.
about that last night, whether or
Right.
not he's gonna return to the skits or whatever. So right now, it feels like they're kind of like transitioning the storyline and trying to figure out where they're gonna go. That's what it feels like right now.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I find the entertainment really in the judgment of how they're actually
Mm-hmm.
running the show at this point. Like it's less about the storylines, to be honest with you, and it's just like, what are these people doing right now? Like, what do they got?
Right. Yeah.
You
What's
know. But we've all been watching long enough to know that this is kind of like par for the course. Like they will go through this moment, and then eventually you'll hit like a pocket where the skits are super fire, but it's like they have to build back up to that,
yeah, and I
they
hope
have
we
to
see
build
them
back up
later.
to it. Because what's the last storyline that went crazy? I mean,
I mean,
the
right now, because the only one I really watch most is like the Amber and Anthony,
mm,
Shayla.
yeah,
So can we dive into that? Like I want to. Can we dive into that since we, within that realm, just a little bit?
yeah, yeah, yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, if that's the ones that interest you.
Yeah. But like so which okay, so which one? And let's get into what interests you the most, because I know you said that's Delicia, Iman, and Shayla. So we could dive into that too.
Well, that was the
Uh,
one that was most interesting to me. But as of now, they kind of hit a hiccup because Iman isn't on the skits right now. So
right.
they're trying to pivot is what they're
Yeah, they're
doing right
trying
now.
to do, and
Yeah.
I think it's gonna get to the point where, based on where Iman is with the skits, I think they're going. That's when
Hmm.
Shayla's gonna. I think that everything's hit the fan when it comes to Shayla really getting the karma that she's been, that we've been,
Yeah.
been wanting her to get for all this time.
Right.
So I think it's going to get into that, where she's going to find out about him and the Delicia,
Right.
that sort of thing. Um,
Because you're seeing kind of Shayla. I mean, you've always seen like Shayla in this light of like being obsessive.
yes,
Even with Anthony, and with Arby, but with Iman, it's a little bit different. It's like she's even turned it up a little bit more. Because they want the effects to be felt that much more once it gets revealed that he's been dealing
right,
with
because
Alicia.
we definitely need the
Yeah,
build up. I think they're trying to get the
yeah.
build up. Yeah, but
So
yeah, I'm sorry.
yeah, so that was, kind of like the skits that I was, really doing most of the reactions to, because I started doing reactions to as many skits as possible. Then I fell back and it's like, all right, I'm
Yeah,
only
because
gonna
it's a
do the
lot.
skits. I'm only
Hmm.
gonna do the reactions to
Hmm.
the skits that, number one, me and the fam enjoy. Number two, that I'm actually interested in right now and that have the best numbers, because people don't really care too much about like the filler skits, and especially when it
Right.
comes to
Yeah.
watching reactions
Joshua
of the
don't.
skiller skits.
Mm.
Yeah, so people will skip over like the filler skits and they'll skip over the filler reactions when it comes to my channel anyway. So, I
Okay.
kind of just regulate it to, man, what am I interested in? Because that is the best entertainment that I can provide, is watching the stuff that I'm actually enjoying watching.
So yeah, so let's get into, because I want to get more into it, because I want to because I know, like, it's us engaging right now about it. A lot of people
Hmm.
may not know what we talk about, who the heck we talk about, who it is, and what's going on. So I
Yeah.
want to, so give me the storyline that you prefer, or that interests you the most, so we could give a little bit more backstory, so that way the
Okay.
people could understand what we're talking about. So
Right, right,
so
right.
give us a storyline that that you want to tackle right now. So
So, I mean, again,
just a
I
little
mean,
bit.
if you're not Country
Yeah.
Wayne skit watcher, I mean, you could pretty much just liken it to like soap operas, and the
Yeah. Mm,
majority of the skits are kind of like love triangle based, because
mhm.
people like the drama.
Yeah, and
Put the
it's
jacket to my
all
chocolate.
kind of messy. So which storyline do you want to get into though?
So I would say, I mean, the Iman and
Iman
Shayla
Shela.
and the Alicia
Okay.
love
And
triangle. That's
all
yeah.
right. All right. So let's okay, so let's do this. So like I said, we're gonna try to try to give you some cliff notes of this storyline, because it's a lot. So if you haven't
Mhm.
been a watcher of this system, beginning, or you haven't been watching it for a while, just try to try to read between the lines, people, because we're gonna be here all night, trying to piece it all together. So we're gonna
Thanks
give
a
you some
lot.
cliff notes, and please help me fill in the blanks, because I know I'm gonna miss some things, Jinx. So all right, Iman,
No
Delicia,
chocolate
Shayla.
vibe.
So all right.
Hmm.
So we're gonna start off, because it's with the Delisa and Iman came into the picture kind of like through Shayla. So Shayla
Hmm.
was the former best friend of Amber. Amber, who was married to Anthony. Shayla betrayed Amber by sleeping with her husband and becoming
Hmm.
pregnant with his baby. Okay,
Right.
so that's that situation, right? And so
Right.
all this time, all after everything that's been going on, Shayla still believes that she has been how should I say? Shayla believes that she already met her karma through but she hasn't yet, but
Mhm.
because people are still not holding her accountable. There's no accountability. There's
Mhm.
lack of remorse there, because no one is holding her feet to the fire like they should. But for some reason, they are coddling her. She got so many people around her that
Mhm.
are just drinking the Kool-Aid, so to speak. So
They're
yeah,
enablers. Her
yeah,
mother's an
neighbors, yes,
enabler. Yeah, her
yeah.
mother. you know, pretty much everybody around
Yeah,
her, her
yeah,
friends,
exactly. So that's,
even Delisha
even
to a
Delicia,
degree. Yeah.
exactly, to a certain degree, and we're gonna get all, get some of that into that. Melanie, I'm originally from New York, but I'm currently in Atlanta now. But
You
I'm
can't hear it.
that's what that's yeah, yeah. So
Oh,
yeah,
so you're in Atlanta right now.
yeah,
Okay.
I'm in Atlanta right now. And so
You
she,
ain't try to get on the skits.
yeah.
You ain't try to audition. We had
I mean, I don't know if they have
is T
opportunity
Dub still in
behind the
here?
scenes. I don't even mind being a PA, I don't mind, I'm fine.
We had some people in the fam that was trying to get on the skits. They was actually talking to somebody too about getting on them.
Yeah, okay. So
Mm-hmm.
we gotta get more become more aware. So I'm gotta get updated on that. So yeah, I'm trying to. But yeah, but okay, so
Absolutely.
going back to this
Mm-hmm.
storyline. So okay, so that's Shayla. And so um Delicia is was Shayla's best friend from junior high school. And so I should play a teacher. Really? Hmm. Oh, interesting. Okay.
Oh
Hmm.
yeah, they got a
Okay.
lot of extra. They got like a lot of
Yeah.
extra positions and stuff.
No, I haven't seen them on film. No, I haven't. I haven't come across. Cause I'm a homebody, you guys. I have no life. I don't really be out like that, unless on occasion when I decide to go somewhere, to an event to support someone else. But
Get that
I'm not
15K
really
a month.
out there like that. Yeah, right. I'm trying to get. I'm trying to get there. I'm trying to get there. But thank you. Manifest that, people. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, let's manifest that.
Yes, indeed. Yes,
Yeah,
indeed.
yeah, yeah. Thank you for that. Yeah. So Delisa came in as a best friend from junior high school, and
Mm-hmm.
so yeah, I'm gonna get outside, Jackie. I'm gonna get outside. Um, and so she somehow came to visit with Shayla
Yep.
to reconnect with her, and so they was reconnected. And come to find out, as they were reconnecting, it was revealed that Shayla took her boyfriend back in junior high school. So she's
I
had a
forgot
history
about
of this.
that.
Yeah, she had a. So Shayla has a pattern of this. Where
I
she just
forgot
has
about that.
she befriends these women, and they become such
Mm,
good friends of hers, and then she betrays them.
okay.
So
There you
she's done this
go.
to Delicia. But I mean, somehow at some point, obviously Delicia apparently must have forgave her, or maybe not, because I think she's seeking vengeance right now. But
You think that's
so
what this is?
yeah,
Vengeance from junior high.
yes.
Lord have mercy.
So that is that the dynamic. And Delicia ended up staying with Shayla, while she was in Atlanta. And so
Mm-hmm.
they have this, rekindling of their friendship. And then at first Wayne was originally trying to talk to Delicia at one point, and Delicia wasn't interested. And then Iman came into the scene somehow.
Iman Shumpert,
Iman Shumpert,
the NBA player.
who was married to Tiana Taylor, former NBA player.
Yeah, yeah.
So he came into the skits and started talking to Shayla. And so help me out, Jinx. Fill in the blanks for me.
So Iman had took interest in Shayla, and I guess they called themselves double dating at the time. So
Hmm.
Wayne was pursuing Delisha, and Iman had interest in Shayla, which obviously, was an upgrade from her previous situation with her baby's father, Anthony. So she became pretty much obsessed at that point, and she kind of knew it was going to be her fallback plan. So Shayla kind of has went all in, and we're seeing Shayla, even though she's always had obsessive behavior, she's even more. It's even
Crashing out.
more. Yeah, it's even
Yeah.
more aggressive now, right? Because Shayla knows she's already a baby mother,
Hmm.
and her baby's father decided to go back to his wife. So right now we're at this point where Iman he already has expressed interest in Delisha, and they've actually been seeing each other behind Shayla's back. And
Hmm.
for whatever reason, they won't tell Shayla.
Don't
They're
tell her.
scared to tell her because of the aggressive behavior of
And
her obsession.
mental illness that's been diagnosed. But yeah.
Right, right, yeah, fatal attraction, Shayla. Right. So instead of just kind of like either dissolving it or deciding to just completely out the situation, they're deciding to creep, which kind of like has this buildup of when is Shayla gonna find out. which is similar to how they did with Amber, because it was a long time before Amber found
Yes.
out that Shayla
Mhm.
was sleeping with her husband. So that's pretty much where we're at. But I guess right
Yes.
now they don't know if Iman is going to return to the skits, is what I'm hearing. So
Right, and that's why I'm hoping that all these things are revealed, especially because, oh, and, Iman being the snake that he is, because it's like, when he
mhm.
because remember, Jinx, when he at first he, was dating Shayla, they was kicking it or whatever, and
Yeah.
then all of a sudden he has this thing for Delicia, and it's like, and now he was willing to sacrifice his relationship with Shayla to be with Delicia. So what happens when,
Mhm.
and I'm wondering, like at that time when that happened, I'm like, what happens when the next person come along, you know, and I'm like, because he's juggling three women now, because now this other person came into the frame as well. What's her name? Brina? It was a white. I think a Caucasian girl.
No, that's Mike. You think about Mike, ain't you?
No, not Lisa. I'm not talking about Darren's wife. I'm talking about it was
Oh,
another. It was somebody else that and because she was saying like she didn't want to hear more about Shayla and Delicia, because I think he was telling her about Shayla and Delicia. Maybe you gotta
oh.
go back a couple of skits
I
because there was another
probably,
person.
probably, because
Yeah, it was someone else.
look,
Yeah,
I make no qualms about it. I be missing skits. A big part of my channel too is just the family filling me in on stuff that I missed, because
right. But it wasn't Lauren. It's not Lauren.
that's just our dynamic at this point, right? Like I see as many skits as I
But it was
can,
I think it was Brina.
and
He, but also, but remember, he decided to circle back to Shayla because she's like, oh well, Shayla didn't, she didn't really deserve for me to, break up with her the way that I did and did this, and so they went on this trip, and he um he and Shayla slept together on the same trip under the same roof as where Delicia was, and so it was that whole thing. It's so much. It's like a pretzel here, it's like a pretzel type of storyline. And
mhm.
so and then it came to a point where um Iman was so smitten with Delicia to where he wanted to try to break up with Shayla again, and Shayla wasn't having it. So she tried to hold him hostage. I mean, she left the baby in the house to chase him out the to chase him to his vehicle and not want him to go
Right,
anywhere.
right,
And
right,
so
right.
it was like that's where the obsessive thing comes in at, you know, and then she's even admitted that she was willing to sacrifice her life for
Yeah,
this
she
man.
did.
And
So
that
they,
goes to
yeah.
show you that there is something mental there. And that's, and I'm not I'm not a therapist. I'm not, licensed in any way, but there is something mental there.
Well, they want to up the stakes, right?
Yeah, no, but
Of
no,
the
it's something,
fallout.
no, it's some
What
sinister.
they want to up the stakes of the fallout.
Yeah.
That's what this is about, right? So
Mhm.
that's why you're seeing this drastic behavior happen, because you want the fallout to be just as bad
To want
as
to
the
hit.
pain that she's
Yes.
caused. So it's
It's
gonna hit
hit
harder
hard.
the
It's going to
more
hit
that we
hard
see,
as it
the more
should.
that we see, how um involved or how much stock that she's putting in this relationship that
Yes. I mean,
isn't even a real
so much.
relationship at the
It's
end of the
not.
day. So yeah,
In her mind, it is because Amon is not even standing 10 toes down in his position on this. I don't understand that. And he's like made it clear that he's not that into her, but it's just like,
yeah,
what is he doing? Like, why is he handling it this way? Like, why is he moving this way? It's just,
because he
I just don't
can.
understand it. Yeah, 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 yeah.
That's all that is. I
Yeah,
mean,
so it
because
doesn't
he
just
can.
make any sense to me. And
Yeah.
just knowing how committed that she is. And I'm just trying to figure out, yeah, Iman, he's such a good man. He just he knows how to uplift me. He's making me a better woman. He's just a good man.
Mm.
He's such a great man. And I'm like, why? What is it about him? Like, what has he done so significant? Like,
The
other than
money.
he got you into other than the money and maybe possibly
Well,
the
there's
vitamin
no
D,
other than. There's no other
other
than.
than. And
There's
I'm
no
wondering,
other
like,
than.
maybe got her into smoking, the ganja. I mean,
I don't got nothing to do with it.
introducing that type of life. Other than that, I'm like, okay, but she is so. I mean, she is.
The one thing about Shayla's character that I do like and appreciate is the consistency, right? I don't really like the inconsistency in some of the other
It's all over
characters.
the place.
Well,
It's all over the place. Yeah.
like Amber, I don't really like the inconsistency in Amber's character.
Yes.
Shayla's character is fairly consistent. you've pretty much seen her do the same thing with three men,
Yeah,
right?
that's true.
She finds, a situation, what I'm saying, where she can get provision and that she can, find some level of comfort, and she'll stay in that
Right,
situation
right.
even though she doesn't necessarily want to be in it. And I think right now what you're seeing now is Shayla, who has had a drastic change in her life with having a child. Now her ability to obtain provision and to be provided for from a man, is the stakes are even higher because it's not just her anymore. It's a child in the mix. So you're not only just seeing her obsession with Iman, you're seeing her obsession with potentially the last suitable man that could be the provider for her and now her son, right?
Yeah, right.
So that's why, it's very interesting the route that they're taking her, but it's consistent. You know what I'm saying? Her character is evolving, but it's consistent. Amber's character has been very
It's
inconsistent.
regressive, regressive.
Yeah.
Yeah, so real quickly, for those who are interested in binge watching and interested in Country Wayne Skits, I just put the link in the chat for the Country Wayne channel, the YouTube channel. And if you want to get more into what we're talking about, this is the channel, the link to the channel. I don't know if RNY is still in the building, but for those of you interested in watching the Country Wayne Skits, and you want to binge watch, get some popcorn, you may need a couple of days to, you have to be in it, back and forth. You need a couple of days or a couple of weeks to really catch up, because there's a lot, there's a lot going on
Man,
in these
listen,
skits, because these
Country
are skits
Wayne,
like, this is like for the past few years. Like, these skits has been, we've been
he
having
dropped
skits for
20
the last
skits a
2
day.
years.
You better off just
Yes.
picking up and then
You're
just
just picking up, yeah.
look.
So, but that's the channel right there of the Country Wayne Skits, and then you have people like Hijinks that were able to fill you in on his reviews, as well as other content
Yeah, come
creators.
to my channel,
Like, come to
right?
your channel.
Come to
Yeah.
my channel, because not only are you not gonna be bogged down by 1,000 Country Wayne skits that you missed in the past week, the fam will fill you in the chat. Whatever questions you have, they will fill you in. They'll bring you up to speed. So shout out to the Big Facts
Oh
family.
yes, definitely. All right, but going back to Amber, yeah, I'm very disappointed in Amber's character, because she seemed like she
Yeah.
was doing well at some point, and oh yeah, thank you for the sub, RNY. You just got a new sub. Yeah, shout out
Matter
to
of fact,
RNY.
no,
Yeah,
matter of
thank
fact,
you.
let me give it up for my dude,
Yeah,
man.
just
There you
shut
go,
it.
brother. Appreciate you. Appreciate you.
Yeah. So yeah, that's a sister.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, sister. Come on in, sister.
Yes, yes, yes. Yeah, but
Sister.
you're gonna really RY, you're gonna really like, once you get into the sketch, you're gonna be hooked. You're gonna be screaming at the screen. You're gonna want to punch somebody through the through the screen. I'm telling you, there are certain characters that you are just going to despise, even though they are just playing a role, but that doesn't matter, because we still don't like them anyway. So just be prepared. Be
Yeah,
prepared, for that reaction. Believe me, once you start, you're gonna get hooked. And you're gonna be
yeah.
people gonna be wondering, where you been? I haven't seen you in a while. That's watch. Don't believe me, just watch. All right.
Mm.
Yes. All right. So yeah. So you wanted to you have more to say about the storyline, Hijinks.
I mean, right
Yeah.
now, I
Oh,
mean,
you're
there's
right.
not.
Yeah. Okay, I think we caught up, right? We kind of caught up. We kind of as far as
What?
the storyline, what we talked about. I mean, we kind of caught up right now. We kind of like
Oh,
got
well,
we up
yeah,
to speed right
yeah,
now. We got them up to speed,
yeah,
basically.
yeah. Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, so I just want to kind of give the people an idea of what your content is based on, and some of
Mhm.
the storylines that you can look forward to. So please make sure you support Hijinks, as well as all the other content creators on this Country Wayne universe. You might see me as one of the Ernestine's teachers in the school. You never know. I might
Hey, why
I might
not?
be
Why not?
I might play one of the teachers. You never know.
Why
but
not?
oh, but let me ask you before we
Mhm.
get into some fun, let me ask you, what is next for you? What's going on with you? What's next? I know you said that you was performing Rock Him, but yeah, so take us through this tour that you was talking about. Give us some of the
Oh,
tea of what you got going on.
So yeah, I have you know, just got off a week long show run
Mm.
with the legendary Slum Village,
Ah, all right. Yes.
uh Detroit's own. So like if you are familiar with groups like Tribe Called Quest or
Yes, of
Common,
course, of course.
yeah, they're all from that like kind of that cloth. Like
Yes. Mhm.
they've all worked with, these artists. Um Actually, the producer from Slum Village, Jay Dilla, is the producer for a lot of hits.
Yeah, may he rest in peace.
Yeah,
Mhm.
so Jay Dilla has produced for Janet Jackson, Busta Rhymes,
Mhm.
Tribe
Very
Called
underrated.
Quest,
Mhm.
Erica Badu, D'Angelo. So this is like the group um that has kind of sat at the top of Detroit hip hop for a fair amount of years, and so we kind of like ended up establishing a relationship with these guys. We did some touring with them last year on the West Coast, and last week we did like 5 shows in the Midwest, and we plan on like going overseas and
Nice.
during Europe and things of that nature. So right now, it's really just doing the shows because I am
Mhm.
officially going to be releasing my album on streaming. My album has been available for purchase quite some time directly through me, but I'm going to put it on streaming platforms
Okay.
within the next couple of months. So, the masses, could potentially listen to it. And
Yes.
so this will be the official release of my album coming this spring. And so I'm just getting ready for that. And, in the meantime, just, kicking it with the fam. And that's how, I decompress is I get on live and
Yes. Yes.
chop it up with the fam. So,
Makes sense.
yeah.
Yeah, all right. But make sure that you support Hijinks and all that he's doing. I have all of his information in the description box underneath this video. Please make sure that you support him as an artist, as a content creator, and just make
Appreciate
sure that you
it.
keep up with whatever shows. If he's performing in your area, make sure you check him out and just show up for your bro. So
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah,
A couple of the fam, they follow me on Instagram. That's Instagram is where I do 100% of my music stuff. I
okay,
honestly don't even like mix the content over there. It's all music related.
got it.
Whereas YouTube, it's just
It's
kind of where
mainly
I
for
do.
this,
Yeah,
right?
it's kind of just where I do my thing over here.
Hmm.
But at the same time, if you are interested in what I got going on musically, you can follow me on the gram or subscribe to the United Grind channel.
Yes, and like I said,
Yes,
everything's going to be in the subscription box, and so make sure that you continue to stay tuned for whatever else this brother has going on. But I want to have a little fun with you, Hi Jinx. Are you ready for that?
I don't know. I do not know.
Oh, don't be scared. Don't be scared. I mean, it's
What
just
you got
I mean,
playing?
just
What you
wanna,
got
a little bit
playing?
of this or that. That's all. Just a little bit of this or that. All
Okay, a
right.
little this or that.
Yeah.
We can do some this.
All right. Let's go.
Here they come, yo. Here they come.
Yeah.
Hey, you should
Everybody loves that.
copyright
Yeah.
strike. Copyright strike. Don't get it.
Yes. So, yeah, he does seem shy, Melanie, and I catch that vibe.
Who's
Yes. So,
shy?
yeah,
Me?
you.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah,
I'll
yeah.
take it.
All right. So I'm going to be at random stuff out the top of my head. You can't plead the fifth. You can't say both. It's going to be one or the other. Choose one or the other. All right.
I
You
can't
know.
plead the fifth.
Nope. You can't choose. You
Dang.
got to choose one or the other.
So
You
no
know.
democracy over here.
And,
We not.
see, I'm glad you see. I'm glad you understand that now.
All right.
Okay. Here we go. Because we was talking about some of these people as well, but I just want to get your take on
Mm,
slime. I guess Slum Village or Tribe Called Quest.
Tribe Called Quest.
Okay, okay. Jade, the music group, Jade or 702. Jade. Don't
Jay.
walk away.
I
Okay.
remember Jay.
Okay.
I
Okay.
remember Jay.
Sometimes I need. Okay.
Jay did it for me back in the day. 702. They was cool, but
Oh,
Jay
they
did it
did
for
it. Oh,
me.
so they were the ones. Okay. All right. All right. So Surf or turf?
Turf.
Okay. You know, you
Mm.
seem like that type. You seem like a turf kind of guy.
Steak
Spinach.
man.
You're a steak man. Yeah, you seem like that type. Yeah. Okay, so um, kale or spinach.
Spinach.
Okay.
Hmm.
Yeah. So squash or zucchini. I mean, yeah, squash or zucchini. Have you
The
eaten them?
difference.
Yeah, eat your yeah,
I've eaten zucchini. Look, I
eat your,
guess
you
you
better eat your vegetable. You better eat your
look.
vegetable.
I can't remember the last time I had squash. I get zucchini in my whatchamacallit, in my hibachi. So
Oh,
zucchini.
really?
Yeah, I
Oh, okay.
always
Oh,
get
that's
it.
cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
grilled vegetables is okay. That's even better. Okay.
Hmm.
All right. So I want to really get you on this one. I want to get you on this one. All right. Okay. So Silk, the group, the music group Silk or Jagged Edge.
Jagged edge.
Oh, you like a Jagged Edge? Okay.
I'll say jagged. That was close though. That was probably
That was I
that was
know, right?
probably
So
close.
I'm gonna go back a little bit. You know, old
Mm.
school R&B. You know, you mentioned Bootsy Collins. So
Okay.
yeah, so but I don't want to use that one because I don't know, you might be biased. So I gotta watch you.
Oh,
I gotta watch you on that one. So I gotta okay. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Shirley Murdoch or Kelly Price.
Shirley Murdoch.
Okay. And
Mm.
so okay.
Kelly Price doesn't have too many songs that I like. Like her voice is
Really?
unmatched, but like,
Oh,
I
oh.
mean, I'm just saying, like as far as just like classics, Kelly
Mm,
Price just has a voice. Her voice is iconic, but she doesn't have a
right.
lot of like a lot of her music isn't stuff that I'm
Mm.
like put that Kelly
You're
Price
into,
song.
you're into.
Yeah,
Okay, okay. Oh
yeah.
no, respect, respect.
Hmm.
Okay. Alrighty. Music soul child or Bilal.
Whoever else.
What?
The second person, whoever
Oh,
that person.
you're not a fan of Music Soul Child? No? Oh my goodness. You're not a fan, huh? Oh,
I'm not a fan of music.
he said, "Oh, but,
Nah,
anybody but." Oh my god.
nah. It's
Okay.
funny. Somebody just told me a story about meeting Music Soul Child in real life, and it was like, I could see that. It wasn't a good. It wasn't painting him in a good light either. So I
Real?
was like,
Oh, really?
now mind you,
Personalized,
music does have some songs that I like. It's not that I don't like any of his music. It's
but it's
just
his
I
personal.
don't care for him. Yeah, I don't
Oh,
care.
personally. Okay. Okay. No, I get it. Okay.
Who else was you gonna pick though? Who
No.
was the other?
You ain't. Oh, I said Music Search or Bilal.
Oh, Bilal for sure. For sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was. Okay. So. You see, made me lose it. Okay. Jazzy Faye or The Dream.
Oh, that's a good one. You know what? I gotta say Jazzy Faye for one reason. Literally early this morning, I was scrolling on Instagram and a video came up from a song that Jazzy Faye produced that I completely forgot about, but it was my jam though.
Mm.
And I'm like, damn, I forgot Jazzy Faye. This was earlier today. And I'm like, I forgot Jazzy Faye did this joint. And of course, he's done so much other stuff that I like. But yeah, Jazzy.
Oh, okay. All right. Um, Tacos or burgers.
Burgers.
Okay. See, okay, yeah, tell you seem like that meaty guy. You meaty, you're a meaty guy. Yeah, I can see
Yeah,
that.
I'm not about to play it. I'm not about to play it. I know what they about to say. I already know what they are about to say
What you
in
say?
the chat. I'm not
All right,
playing it.
I'm gonna look for it. I'm gonna look for it in the chat.
No,
I'm gonna look
yeah,
for what they're
I
gonna say.
already know what they about to say. I
Okay.
already know it.
Are you a breast man or a butt man? No bread, no water. That's like
All right. You said I can't say both, right?
Nope.
I can't choose. I can't choose.
But yeah, you're going to. You're going to.
I can't. I can't. It's literally 50-50.
Nope.
Said Jupiter.
No, come on, come on, come on. Now you got to play it like everybody else. We know, you
All right, all right.
you
It's
know.
gonna be a coin.
You got
It's
to be
gonna
a
be a
sport.
coin toss, though. It's gonna be a coin toss.
You got to be a sport about this. Got to be a good sport about this.
All right, I'm just letting you know it's gonna be a coin toss because it could change tomorrow. I'm gonna
Yes,
say booty.
see, there you go.
I'm gonna say it's today. It's booty.
All right, all right. Okay, so now I want to. Okay, so now this is going into the Country Wayne Skits. So who do you think is the most like? If you could choose between,
Honey pot.
what do you know? What I'm gonna say? How you gonna? How you gonna just blurt that out? What about honey pot? Since you want to go there, what about honey pot?
I thought you were saying which lady do I fancy?
Oh, okay, no. Oh,
Okay,
no.
okay. My bad. I got ahead of myself. Sorry.
Yeah. Now, I want which character would you wanna? I'm gonna have a little spin on it. Which one would you want to F, and which one you want to marry? F or marry? Shayla or Dominique?
Oh, the woman or the character?
The characters. The character.
So I'm picking one for each.
Yes, one for each. Yeah, I'm gonna try to do a little spin on it. Yes.
Jeez, I don't like either one of them.
Yeah, give me the why real quick on each one. Like why you choose.
I mean, they're both beautiful women. Don't get me wrong. As far as attraction, but if we talk about the characters themselves, I would have to. Honestly, I had to marry Shayla.
Interesting.
Yeah, because number one, this is the thing, right? Shayla doesn't rock the boat like Dominique. Like I couldn't. You said be kind, new step. No, but Dominique is insufferable to me. Like I can't stand to hear her talk. Like Shayla, she'll get out the way, right? If Shayla likes you, she'll get out your way. Yeah, I can't have like.
But you F. You have you F Dominique. You have a romp.
Well, that's the only other option, right?
Yeah.
If I got to marry one, then the other one is by default. So, but yeah, I wouldn't marry Dominique. If I had to marry one, I'd marry Shayla for sure.
All right. Well, thank you so much. I mean, hey, good job. What? You're the only. You think you're the only one with sounds?
You Scott. You
with sounds. Yes. That was good. That was fun.
Okay.
That was fun.
Right.
But Jinx,
I got one more for the fam because I know they want me to play it. So I got one more for the fam.
What they want you to play?
They want me to play this one.
Yeah, I'm gonna make. She'll make you eat the hot pocket. Yeah.
Oh Lord, don't you? Oh, real quick, fam. Did they remove the Mike and Lisa skit from last night? Because I can't find it.
Well, Mike, which one?
Well, he was getting some got in the car.
Oh,
I can't find it.
What? I mean, and what is with Mike? I mean, what? Can he get any more doofier? Like, what the heck? Why is he?
Look, Mike,
a married woman? I mean, really? Like, what is going on? Like, what is it? What is his thought process? What is his thought process? I
saw
don't get it.
Yesterday. Okay, so it wasn't just me. So this is for the fam.
Okay.
All over, sweet me.
That's for y'all. That's for y'all.
Yeah. Okay. And I love that song.
I did. I tried Facebook too. She said that I tried B. I did, and I only saw clips of it. So that was I just dropped. Matter of fact, I think it went live at 7:00. So I did drop our reaction to it yesterday.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So Jinx, I'm going to ask these last two questions before we wrap up. And I always enjoy the responses that I get. So All right. So this question here is, if you had the opportunity to have 5 people at the seat of your table, dead or alive, who would they be and why? And I need the why for each one.
Oh wow. Uh, well, I would definitely put Malcolm there.
Malcolm
Um,
X.
yeah, Malcolm definitely. Number
Why?
one, I need to know who did it.
Mm,
Number two, my man, he was just Malcolm passed at a pivotal point in the nation, having conflict with the nation, what he knew to be true about like his path and what he felt like was the reason to separate himself from the nation. So I just have so many inquiries about that moment in his life and
mm-mm.
where he was mentally there.
Okay.
Um, Kind of springboarding off of that, I would say Muhammad Ali. I'm just
Mm,
I'm just a huge Muhammad Ali fan. The man was just a wealth of knowledge, and his personality itself was infectious. So,
right.
um, I go more recent, with some of my hip hop heroes that passed. I would say Tupac and Big, and you said five, right?
Yes, I said 5.
And these are all celebrities. What was there any stipulation on that,
No,
or
I
it
said
was
dead or
just
alive.
period?
Anybody, if dead or alive, no matter who, dead or alive. And I need
Oh
the
well, okay. Well, I probably have to change all that. That's plenty. I got more than five family members that I would have that I would have dinner with. That are passed anyway, right? Um, so I'm just gonna keep it celebrity just for the sake of the questions. Um,
yeah, but it doesn't matter. It don't have to be. But it's up to you. This is your table. This is your. Mm,
Okay. Well, I mean, more realistically, it would be my grandfather, my grandparents. It would be my former girlfriend that passed away. And
oh.
that's five.
Okay, so wait. So which grandparent?
All my grandparents are passed.
No, it can't. No, it got to be 5. Just 5. So you
That's
okay?
five.
You
That's
said
two
Malcolm X.
grandparents. That's four grandparents and my
Okay. Oh, you
girlfriend.
changed it. So you don't. Oh, so you wasn't doing Malcolm and Muhammad. I
Well,
mean,
no, if we're not making it like if we're making it just people who I want to see again, it
okay.
would be
So
my
all right.
family.
So go back. Rewind it back. Hijinks.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
Go back to number one. So and then I need the why for each one. I need the person and the why.
My grandparents. You need the names of my grandparents? Is
No,
that
just
what?
just the person. Like, it don't have to be the names, but like So you say great. You saying parents. So you saying one parent, one seat for each person.
Yes.
Okay, and
Yeah.
so why
My
why your
grand
grand?
I have two grandfathers, two grandmothers. So
Okay,
that's four seats.
okay. So give me the
Mhm.
why for each one. So the first person, the first grandparent, is that whatever grandmother, grandfather, the first
Okay.
grandparent, and I need the why.
I never met my grandmother. She died when I was an infant.
Mm,
My grandfather, because he was basically, the patriarch of my family, basically the woman that I love the most. He basically instilled everything in her that she would go to pass down to me. And I remember my grandfather because I was probably like around 7 or 8 when he passed, but I didn't have that time with him. And just
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
knowing, the stories in regards to his life, he was Golden Gloves boxer, like one of the
Wow.
strongest men.
Mm,
That people still talk about him to this day. In our in the town that we grew up in. Um, my grandfather Alfonso, my grandfather and my grandmother on my father's side because they helped raise me. Those are the grandparents that I spent so much time with. And, I missed them.
yes.
Yeah.
Okay, and so and those was that 3 or 4? Was it 4?
That's four. That's four.
4.
And yeah. Not too long after my father passed, I actually lost the woman that I was seeing um in 2010 as well.
Mm,
So that was a rough year for me, but I was with somebody who, I probably would have married.
Wow. Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah, my
Yeah, yeah.
condolences.
Hmm.
Yeah. And so now the second part of that question is who would get the big piece of chicken and why?
Uh, Probably. Oh, that's hard to say.
I
That's hard
know.
to say. I got two grandfathers at the table. I'm
Uh-huh.
splitting.
Mhm.
I'll get the big piece of chicken and I'll just take the. I'll just
Yeah.
take the.
Just take
I'll
it.
just. I'll just take
You just eat
the.
it.
Because I don't want to split
Yeah,
the.
avoid any conflict.
Yeah, I don't want
Okay.
no conflict. You can bring it my way.
Got it. All righty. Yeah, thank you for that. Thank you for that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for
so
sure.
now this is a question that I take from the late James Lipton from inside the actor studio. So,
Okay.
hijinks. When you enter into the pearly gates, what would you want God to say?
I would want him to say, "Man, you hit me with a tough one." I would want him to
Mm,
say, "Job well done." Uh, you know, amongst um amongst chaos, amongst confusion, you stayed steadfast. You didn't let your faith waver. And you
mm,
always suck and you always strive to seek understanding, and uh I'm proud.
nice.
Yeah, that's what I say.
Yeah. I like that. Yeah, that was
What
good.
was
I
that
like that.
sound? What you just was that a
Boom.
bomb? That was a
Yeah,
bomb. I need
boom.
to send you
Yeah.
some of my sounds. Huh? Listen, I need
What you trying to say about myself?
that sounded like a bookshelf crashing
Oh,
right there.
whatever.
That's a bomb.
Excuse me, you know, but yes, but I
We'll
think
hook you up. We'll hook you
this
up.
was yeah, thank you. No, I appreciate that. No, give me, don't send them
Mm.
my way. I'm gonna
Yeah,
download them.
no,
I'm sending my way. I want more media sounds. I do want more. Yeah,
good
definitely.
deal. Good deal.
Yeah, so but I appreciate your
Mhm.
your presence here. It's been fun. It's been enlightening, and I'm really proud of where where you are and where you're going. And so I want to kind of give you some your flowers while you're
Oh,
here. Yeah, so I do appreciate where you are right now and who you are as an individual. Oh,
oh. It's a battle of this.
Yeah, see, I gotta get those. Yeah, so yeah,
I got
but yeah,
you.
but I really mean that. I really like
I
to like
appreciate
pay
that.
homage. I like to, that's why this is why this is like what my platform I want to build on this, where I'm able to highlight,
Hmm.
individuals like yourself. So I really that's why it's so important for you to be here right now with me, so I can really welcome so many different perspectives, so many people from so many different walks of life, and I learned so much from each person that I encounter here. It's such an
Yeah.
amazing journey for me. I learned so much. So I just really appreciate you. But in the meantime, do you have any final words for us?
Um, I would say, uh, join us on the Big
Yes.
Facts Reacts channel. We go live every Thursday and Sunday. All right.
Hmm.
Um, in addition to that, I will be releasing music soon. So if you do enjoy hip hop music, with a message, with some thought behind it, you might want to tap into what we got going on at United Grind, as well. And I'll just say the same thing I say, to my family every night: take care of yourselves and each other. Get you on the next one.
Ladies and gentlemen, hi Jinx. Yes. Yes. So thank you so much for being here. I'll see you in the back end. And I thank you so much for being here with us.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
Absolutely. Yeah. So that right there, another one for the books, y'all. So I thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for the overwhelming support that I received on this live. I really appreciate that. I really love so much of the interaction that I've gotten. So I'm so glad that I was able to do this with hijinks, so I have to make sure that I had on my bra already so I can be able to be have the appropriate presentation, you guys. So I'm so glad that y'all were able to come into the room, and I hope that y'all catch the replay. And thank you so much for all the kind words that I'm getting right now. Yes, I really am. I'm really absorbing everything like a sponge, and it's overwhelming for me. And like I said, I'm really dead serious when I say that. It is so not taken for granted. And I look forward to catching you guys on in the chats. When I catch Hijinks live again, I'm be in the midst. I'm gonna just give my salutations, show my face, and I just really appreciate all the support that you're giving all of us and all our platforms. Make sure that you support um, Hijinks and all his endeavors, his music, his content, everything he has going on. Please make sure that you keep up with him and make sure you support him. Like I said, this has been a great live. I am looking forward to seeing y'all again. I have another interview coming up this coming Saturday with Victoria Mateo. So make sure you look out for that this coming Saturday, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank you so much for posting that link to the channel. Make sure that you subscribe to mos.reacts, aka Hijinks. Make sure you subscribe to his channel. Make sure you support all his other platforms. And on that note, you guys,